I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, because we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
Good morning, JFW family. Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. We are on episode 204. Yes, sir. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. I am your host, JR Saenz, this week as Jam is out hunting. And welcome back to Brother Dave, Jim, and Super Dave.
Morning, JR.
Good morning.
Good everybody. Morning, JFW family.
And we have heard from Jam, and he's bucked up, but he's not bulled up yet, right?
It was day one, too.
Yeah.
It was day one.
Day.
Yep.
I wonder how many hours into the day.
Yeah, right off the bat, a little
Yeah.
break in sunrise and take the shot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a cold one for sure last night. Anybody turn up their heaters at home?
Absolutely.
Needed it this morning. Started that pour at the new yard, JR. It was chilly out there this morning.
Oh, I bet.
Still chilly. What are you talking about?
Once you start moving, though, gets
Yeah.
warmed up a little
That
bit.
sun
Yeah,
came up, man. I could feel it as it was coming over the trailers in the other yard, like just touched the top of my hair and then like come down my face. And I'm like, oh, it's got to hurry up. I'm freezing.
The mud
It's
was
cold.
steaming over there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's get to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into the truck repair here for all our hurting families and anybody that's sick or, going through some things out there. I know we had a family member that lost a loved one just about a week ago. I think we did mention it last week, but our hearts go out to Clint Canmore for his daughter.
Yep.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and the making of good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Just as a reminder, they are all expressed opinions for all the four gentlemen in this room, not JFW.
They were more expressed before the podcast.
We need to start doing some bloopers.
Yes.
Bloopers.
Outtakes or
I've talked about that a little bit because have you ever watched that on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where they say, okay, this skit is about things you could say on the golf course, but not to your wife.
yeah.
Or, items like that. Those guys,
Oh, they're hilarious.
oh man,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, they come out on videos.
I didn't
and they're
think I
just-
was going
they're
to get a
getting people
hole in
off
one
their
in
game.
that one. Just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen those videos, and it's bad enough to where they don't even swing because they can't concentrate.
Yeah. Yep. They're laughing at each other.
Oh yeah.
Well, our bloopers on this show would be what we're talking about before or after.
We get through the show pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I mean, Jam said he hasn't really edited anything out in ages.
Yeah. Lately.
Yeah.
Just gotta hit that record button before we're actually saying, okay, we're ready.
Right?
Are those bloopers or like we said earlier, bitching?
Yeah. I think that's when the president gets in trouble. Live mic.
Yeah. Hot mic.
Hot
Yeah,
mic.
there you go.
Yeah. Hot mic. Yeah.
All right, a couple episode stats from episode 203. We had 315 downloads. Total downloads is 102,700 downloads all time. As far as followers, I do have to apologize, guys. I clicked through that Podbean for a good 15 minutes. I couldn't find how many followers we have.
Oh, interesting.
Last I saw was 808. That may have been about 2 podcasts ago or so. So it may have gone up.
Oh, I think you're totally wrong, JR. It's more like 10,000.
We had to have broken that. All right, and with that, guys, we are on the dad joke challenge. Anybody bring something new?
I did.
I think mine are new. I don't think we've ever heard mine on here before.
All right. Did you guys hear about the frog that had a DNA test?
Negatory.
Turns out he's a little bit Italian and a little bit Irish and a little bit Ted Polish.
Tadpole.
Come on.
It's not as good as this one here. I learned a new trick yesterday. I ate 2 pieces of rope, and they came out tied together. I shit you not.
Oh, that one's good, Dave.
Was that all you had, Jim?
Yeah, that was
Just
all I had,
going with
Dave.
the one?
Yeah, going with the one.
All right. Do you guys know the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas?
We've done that. One can sing.
Oh, have we done that one?
One can sing and one can't.
Did somebody
Is
do
it-
that one?
Do you know it? Jeff?
I was going with the same thing you're saying, Jim.
Yeah, black-eyed peas can sing us a song. Chickpeas can only hum us one.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
Hummus.
Yeah, and then this one I know we haven't done. I didn't remember doing the hummus one, but anyway. What weighs more, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane?
Same.
I would say a gallon of water.
Butane, or I'm sorry, which one? Oh, I wrote it wrong. Which one is, which one weighs more? Butane, of course. See, I still
Dave,
screwed
you
up.
shit me not.
I said butane, of course. It's lighter fluid, right?
A lighter fluid.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Soup?
Okay, I got a couple of knock-knock jokes here.
Oh, love me some knock-knock
Yep,
jokes.
so knock-knock.
Who's there?
Atch.
Hatchu.
Bless you. All right, here's another one. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Cow says.
Cow says.
Cow
moo.
says who?
No, silly. Cow says moo. All righty, and one more. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Yeah.
Yahoo.
Yahoo.
No, thanks. I prefer Google.
Who even uses Yahoo these days? I mean, that was
Right.
high school
Right.
for me, at least.
I always envision, isn't that like a chocolate milk or something? Yahoo?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Or is that Wahoo?
No, it's Yahoo.
I can kind
Yeah.
of picture something like brown and yellow
Mhm.
on a label, you know?
Yeah, I go back to the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy. I think he's on the playground. And he's like, "Hey kids, stay in school, drink Yahoo," or something like that.
That sounds like an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. Well, with Halloween coming up here, I got a couple Halloween ones here. How can you tell when a vampire has a cold?
I don't know that one, JR.
They start coughing. Why don't vampires use autocorrect?
I don't know.
Oh, blood type. No, what? Something like that?
You're on it because they love typos.
Oh,
Oh,
typos.
typos.
There you go.
And then last one here, why are skeletons so calm?
Because they have no guts.
Because nothing gets under their skin.
Oh,
Sure the kids at home will love that one.
right?
I just got those this morning.
Yeah, I've got another vampire joke. What do you get when you cross a vampire and a snowman?
Vampire and a snowman.
A tasty freeze.
No, you get frostbite.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. All righty, guys. Welcome to our new employees. We have Roman Garcia and Juan Valenzuela. They started on Monday. And welcome, guys. Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome
welcome you
aboard.
guys.
Welcome aboard.
Celebrations, guys. Anniversaries. We had Clinton Canmore yesterday. 1 year anniversary for Clinton.
1 year.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
Clint.
Yep. Good job, Clint.
Birthdays, we have Deb Smith on Halloween.
Oh,
Miss
Halloween.
Deb has
birthday.
a
Halloween
I'm
baby,
going to have
huh?
to tease her because she has a personality of a Halloween baby.
You think
There
so?
you go.
Oh, yeah. She's
Yeah.
a little.
You know, it crossed my mind because, you know, she's definitely got quite the little rabbit farm, is my understanding. That has Allie asked her, or have you entertained, like, getting rid of those
Oh,
rabbits
no.
if she wants some?
I asked Allie, and it was a solid no about
Oh.
getting rid of the rabbits.
I would be like, you need to get rid
Yeah, I
of
don't
those
think
rabbits.
Deb would take them. She's trying to get rid of her own rabbits.
Oh,
she has
really?
too many. Yeah.
Oh, is
Oh,
she now?
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Well, only
Yep.
because I think I've heard her, but also with the PTO request, I think she's got something going on in January for like a rabbit competition.
Oh.
I don't know what kind it is, if it's like grooming or whatever, but
I
Just gotta
think
show
I've heard
rabbits.
I think they show them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big,
Just like a dog show.
yeah. Or like SEMA, but for rabbit.
And I thought she placed in the last one. She had one just, I don't know, I want to say September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It did really well.
Did they
Yeah.
put a leash on them and like run them through the little obstacle course and all that like the dogs?
Don't know. I'd have to Google it.
Maybe we need to have Deb on as a guest
yeah.
and learn about
It sounds
rabbits
like it.
and Halloween.
As long as she
Yeah.
doesn't make rabbit stew, I'm good.
She does.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she has talked about like skinning and killing
Yeah.
rabbits.
Man, if we're going to tease her, she kind of does have curly hair. Like, was it Glenn Close?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, we all need to watch. Now we made fun of her. Now she'll be after us.
Looks like we're gonna have to do some editing.
Sorry, sorry, Deb.
Minute 10. All right. Got it.
We
Also-
love you.
Also, happy birthday to Daryl Clark. His birthday is on Saturday, the 1st of November.
Happy birthday, Daryl.
birthday, Daryl.
And I hope we're not getting this wrong because I looked at that list like 5 times, but there is no family birthday celebrations.
Wow.
We don't have nobody with birthdays this week here.
What?
Yeah, so
How's that even possible?
It's very rare.
I looked
Mhm.
at the list a couple times and I'm like, I don't see anything with
Huh.
this date. So next week, though, we got a few. Sure. So, all right, a couple shout outs, guys. First and foremost, from Clint Canmore. I have this written down, or in my mind, I should say. He wanted to give a shout out to all the guys and everybody that actually reached out to him and basically offering their condolences for the passing of his daughter. And also, he wanted to say thank you. And then Scott Snyder, one of our newer drivers here to the fleet, he wanted to give a shout out to Andrew Nonis. I got to apologize, Scott. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was that you were shadowing him one day and he was teaching you how to end up a little bit better. So either way, shout out to Andrew Nonis for taking the lead there and helping out Scott.
That's great.
And then Ann has a shout out for 0059 David Munford, doing it right, coming down I-70 on Monday. My understanding is Ann was coming back from vacation, so
Yeah, she's come back from Steamboat.
okay, she was
That's awesome.
coming down I-70 and watching one of our guys doing it the right way. That's always great to see. And then I believe this next one's yours, Brother Dave.
Yeah,
wanna go over that?
do you have it? It'll just take me a second if you want to go to the next one.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up on my
Jim, do you have
Text here.
yours? I believe yours is the next one too.
Yeah. It's from my neighbor, Shelly, lives across the street from me. And I know she didn't get the truck number or anything, but she did, message me, take the time to do all that, and said that she passed one of the trucks and was doing a great job coming down the hill. I think she was right at Floyd Hill, if I remember the message, and was just doing a good job. And so without a truck number, I'm going to shout it out to everybody that comes down that hill. It sounds like we have a bunch of guys doing a great job. So thank you. And thanks, Shelly, for letting us know about it. It's always good to hear when we're doing good stuff.
Most definitely. And we definitely got to stick out because every time I've come down that hill, and I'm sure every one of our drivers coming down at 45 or no more than 45 miles per hour, you have, the Pepsi trucks, Coke trucks, and every other truck going in the middle lane just flying down that hill. And
Yeah.
And we just stick out because we're doing it right.
Yep. Yeah. But how many times too is there's the smoker, or the one that gets to the bottom of the hill, and we drive right by him at 45 mile an hour or under, and we don't stink, we don't look like an idiot, we're not dangerous, all that stuff, because there's a lot.
I mean, we say it time and again. You got one opportunity to come down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it count.
Even if they're empty, it doesn't matter. There's a speed limit.
Yeah.
Because it's gross vehicle weight rating,
Yep.
not gross vehicle weight. So it doesn't matter if you're empty or not. If you're in a big truck, you can't go over 45.
Yeah.
And the tickets are pretty hefty from my understanding.
Yeah, and I bet they stick too. When a state patrolman writes
Yeah.
it, you don't get
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't get out of them.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is it doesn't happen often enough because when we see it, or I see it, maybe I don't want to be considered a bad person, but sometimes I'm like, where is the state patrol
where is
to
the
stop
police?
this guy,
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah. Brother Dave?
Yeah. So this is from one of Janet's supervisors at work, one of my wife's supervisors at work. Well, it's her supervisor, period. She says, good morning. I'm just going to read the text that she sent Janet. And she says, good morning. I've been meaning to tell you to thank Dave. 285 feels remarkably safer now with all the JFW trucks on the road coming from Fairplay. The drivers respect speed, other drivers, and seem to use engine brakes less when coming through Conifer. I don't believe that. I just think our engine brakes are super quiet.
Yep.
So no one hears them, right?
And the guy with the straight pipe sticks out, Dave, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I didn't even clarify that with her, but she even says she's been up in the Conifer area for 20 plus years. She even says, my rancher and rodeo friends hauling horse trailers all day commented that you can tell JFW has better safety practices than Coleman. Thanks, Dave. And that it's not me. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's our people here,
Yeah,
our safety program, all of that, you know. So shout out to all the drivers running up and down out of Fairplay. We've preached it. We've talked about it. That 285 corridor, it is becoming a magnet, you know. And when you have, I mean, I obviously know Katie, you know, been to her house up there, you know, camped together, stuff like that. But for her to say that, it has to be true. You know what I mean? She's not the type to just kind of throw something out there whimsical. I mean, this is a fact. And I really found it interesting that she's keyed in enough that she compared us to Coleman. You know what I mean? And that just speaks volumes of how good everyone is doing their job up there, and hopefully how well trained, and hopefully we've given everyone the tools to do it right. You know, so it was definitely really a feel good for sure.
Yeah, on that note, Brother Dave, you know, it kind of brings up, you know, you're getting the perspective of one person, right? One person that's seeing us go up and down,
right?
And that is a local, right?
Yes,
this person
totally
lives there. I'm pretty sure she hears it from any other local there too, you know, about whether it's Coleman or us or whoever's going up there mostly. So, and I bring that up because I don't know if you guys saw the news yesterday for that truck rollover that happened on I-76 yesterday over at Prairie Center.
I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it, but what happened?
So I'm not going to mention the trucking company, but there was a rollover, and I'm not saying it was their fault or not. You know, we all know as truck drivers that we get cut off and all that stuff. But anyways, it was an end dump company. Rolled over, and the comments were brutal. The comments were brutal, mostly against the drivers of that company. They pretty much bunched up every driver of that company and pretty much bashed them, you know, for what they are known for. You know, you see them either on the interstate or the highways here in Colorado, and they don't have a very good reputation as to how their drivers are being seen out on the road.
That's terrible.
So I was reading that and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'd hate to be part of that discussion or a part of that organization, to be known for being that.
That be your reputation.
Yes,
because
exactly.
if you're a driver for them, you are that driver, whether you drive that way or not, because you got that's the name on the door.
Yeah, that's the reputation.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. When we get a call in, then that person thinks all of our trucks are like that. Yeah. So yeah.
That was what was so cool about that text I just read. You know, Katie has even spoken to her rancher and rodeo friends, you know, that are pulling horse trailers all day long up and down that corridor. So we just have to, you know, ask everyone every trip, you know, do the right thing, do it the right way, do it the way we've asked, stay at speed limit everywhere you go, just use your blinkers, don't change lanes fast.
Yep.
You know, do that lift when you're coming up to an intersection to slow down in case that light's going to change so you can stop, you know, just all that stuff, all the stuff we talk about constantly.
Just being courteous, you know, being courteous and professional.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's a lost art. You know, we talk about that.
Being courteous. Yeah, no doubt.
On the road, Dave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's easy. We just, I don't know. We just talk about that stuff all the time. So
I think it has a lot to do with everybody just being in a hurry. Everybody needs to be somewhere before somebody else or something.
Absolutely.
You lose focus on everybody else.
Yep.
All right. Before we move on, any other shout outs that we're probably missing or anything?
I don't think I missed any that I had.
All righty. All right. So let's get into it, guys. Part of the discussion here, we got a few items to go through. And just so I get ready, need my energy drink. All right. So first and foremost, guys, time change, November 2nd at 2 a.m. We have a time change. So
Sunday night.
I set my alarm to do that. Get up at 2.
Do you really? Go set your stove and your microwave, everything?
Oh, man.
So yeah, time change, that's very important. I mean, most of our phones should do it automatically.
Yep, the phone should, right? All that
however,
stuff. Yeah.
If you got one of the old school alarms like Super Dave, then yeah, you're probably going to have to change that back. Hopefully you don't got to be somewhere Sunday morning for you not to have to wake up at 2 a.m. to do that.
I just love this time of year, though. You get that extra hour. Spring, I feel it in the spring.
I do too. It takes me like a whole week in the spring to get caught up.
Yeah, but I love the fall back.
I don't like
that
changing
hour.
the clock. So
Yeah, one of these times I'm going to get caught because I just rely on Alexa. Alexa, set my alarm, make it a repeating alarm, and that kind of stuff. And one of these times the power is going to be out, or the internet's going to be out, or there's going to be something. I'm going to get caught here because it's nice.
That's where the body time clock just catches up. You wake up half hour later and you're like, why does it feel like I need to be awake?
Yep.
And then you look.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you freak out when your phone and your stuff is
It's
off.
funny you bring that up. I woke up like 5 minutes before my alarm would go off this morning, and I woke up and I was like, I think it's early. I got time to sleep. I'm just kind of laying there, and then the alarm, beep, beep. Nope, it's time. I was right on.
I did that last night, and I woke up at 10. I was like, man, I'm late. I woke up. I'm like, oh, wow.
You wake up like feeling energized
10,
already? Like
10 at night.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I was sleeping good.
That's what I mean. It's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I'll wake up and I got plenty of time to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And then it goes so fast.
So fast, Dave.
The minute you just put your head back down, that's it.
Yeah. It must
like,
be a hard sleep or something.
Yeah.
However your system works.
I don't know about you guys. The last few days, it's been chillier at night, and we've broken the comforter out, and I am so cozy in bed.
Yeah.
That alarm goes off, and I'm like, I don't want to get out of this bed.
Right?
It is so cozy.
Because we're like bears. We're meant to hibernate this time of year. Are you kidding me?
Those blankets just hug you. They're like, no, come back.
Man.
Come back.
Right?
Yeah, especially because the last few nights too, the bed's cold, really cold. The room's cool.
Yeah.
We've not had the heat on the whole bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that last night was my room is right above the garage, so it is cold. And I had to get the heater on. I had to get it on. Nobody asked me. I had to turn it on.
That's funny.
All right. So next item, do all trucks have their tire chains and key in good condition, secured, all that? And I know we've brought this up a couple times already, especially right before the fall came in. Soup, you kind of brought this up, but would you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, actually it was Big Country that brought it up to me, and he's like, hey, we should mention everybody check to make sure your number one, your tire chains are in good condition, but also to make sure you have all 4 of them. And it turns out one truck out there only had 1.
Right.
And I don't know what happened to the others, but
I don't know. Andre came to us last night, and there was one that only had 2, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, another one.
Yeah, another one.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it is snow season. I know we're supposed to have them starting September 1st, but I have not seen any drivers like pulling them out, laying them out on the ground, checking their links. I have had a few drivers come ask for keys, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we have a whole bag of them in the parts room. So, good job for those guys to make sure they have it, because the chains won't do you any good if you don't have a key. You will not be able to.
If you go through an inspection, I mean, we've already rolled through an inspection up there at Dumont, having them just check chains. That's it. They just want to check chains. And guess what they check when you check your chains? They
ask for a key, huh?
They make sure you have your keys too.
Huh.
So, yeah, and what I was going to ask too is, like, even if you have 4 chains, you'll still be ticketed for not having a key?
Yeah. I don't know if that is a ticket, JR.
I mean, is it like
I've
an out
gone
of service,
through
like
those
because they don't want you
checkpoints,
going up the mountain or something?
and they didn't ask me for a key. But, every cop's different, I guess. But the key is, you don't want to find out when you're up there in 6 inches of snow that you don't have your equipment, you know?
Yeah, definitely. What do you call it? I always kind of heard that, that it's the same as not having chains. If you don't have your keys, then you don't have chains, because there's no way for you to tighten them up or
No, you
or
can't
do
do
that.
it with a screwdriver.
Oh, really? Not even a flathead, nothing like that.
I mean, maybe if you have a big one, I don't know, but I mean, you need to put some leverage on those chains when you're tightening them down.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have
I
a
don't
key.
think you could do that with a screwdriver.
I don't think so either. Yeah, not
Gotcha.
enough.
Maybe it's because of that leverage. Either it's
Yeah.
a T handle where you got both hands, or you have
Right.
that L where you're kind of putting your weight into it.
Right.
So yeah, one of them was also came across with this with one driver is that he had one set of chains on the hanger, but he had the other three either on the catwalk, or I don't know if they were brand new or something like that. He just got them replaced or something, but they're not on the hanger. And, you pass by a port or something and they see one pair or one chain there, just one tire chain, they're probably going to pull you in because they're like, okay, where's the other three?
Absolutely.
And you could obviously produce those and be like, yeah, they're right here. Great. But it still opens you up like, okay, we pulled you in for now. We're going to do a level one.
Let's
Yeah.
look at this.
Yeah, let's look at this
Let's
because
look at that. Yeah.
you're not using proper tools for the right thing. We got a hanger for the chains for a reason.
Yeah.
So good deal. All right. Dumping at Rio Grande, Denver. Brother Dave, do you want to?
Yeah. So we've, this is kind of a mixed bag here. That grout mix is the first bin you get to when you get down there. And I would tell you it's 2 trailer widths wide, but the configuration of the yard is a little wonky. There looks like there's often vehicles being loaded down there, all sorts of stuff. So it's a bit of a tight area for any of the materials we're delivering down there. But anyway, one day the normal people weren't there and kind of the boss was in the yard and one of the owners, and we kind of have a mixed bag here of issues. But anyway, we got in trouble because we were dumping parallel to the bin. Instead of backing into it, we were dumping across the front of it, if that makes sense. Instead of backing our tailgate into the bin, we had our tailgate to the side of the bin and we're dumping across the face of it, which all the material went in. I've heard that, several other people do it that way, that they're okay with it, yada, yada, yada. The bottom line is we need to service our customers. Whether we've done it before, whether they say it's okay or not, we need to take our best shot back into that bin, put the tailgate in the bin and dump the material in the bin. If there's people there, wait a few minutes, they know we're there to dump. And the majority of the people there loading will get out of our way, whatever the case may be. So we just need to really do our best to back up and dump in that bin, not dump across the face of it. And like I say, it was a mixed bag. Jim and I went down and we met with them and talked to them and everybody was happy. But, we gave them a discount on the delivery, gave them 50% off. And just because we don't want problems, right? We know we need to service those customers because they can go out and find someone else to service them. So I guess we're asking and telling our people that you need to service that customer as well. That's your job to back into that bin and do the best you can. If there's vehicles in the way, call us. Whatever the case may be, we're always willing to help out. We're not asking you to put yourself in harm's way or anything like that. But yeah, let's do the best we can to service that customer. That's a big bin. You got plenty of room. You can't get the truck straight under the trailer. So I'm using the term dump jackknifed. You're not jackknifed, but you're not perfectly square under the trailer. The truck's just off a little
bit offset.
Yeah, you can still easily look out your back window, verify your level, the whole 9 yards. So,
and something else I thought of, Dave, if I got, the order to go down to Rio Grande and it, like you said, the other bins would be okay, but that grout mix, I think I would load from landing legs back too.
Yeah.
It would make me feel better as a
would
driver
dump easier, wouldn't it?
going down there. You could just do that and not haul a fat load down there, which you shouldn't because it's straight down I-25.
Right.
But, I think it would help you dumping would be a little bit easier. And, like Dave said, there was a lot of circumstances, like the bin was full when we dumped. Maybe we shouldn't have dumped, but there was a different guy ordering, or maybe we shouldn't have brought him a load, not dumped. But yeah, it looks like we did a good job when we dumped sideways across there, but we could have done a better job. There was just a lot of miscommunication.
The pile looked great.
It
was a
did,
high and
JR.
tight pile, right?
It did, JR.
Yeah, he didn't drag it out.
It was
Exactly.
It was
No,
right
no,
in front of the
no.
bin.
It was just opposite the bin, right?
Yeah,
It
is
was
it?
sideways to the bin.
I
But
mean, he got the job done. I just think we made the wrong people upset.
agreed.
You know,
That's the
and I
reason I
think that-
said it was kind of a mixed bag. But again,
And
we're there to service them.
Yeah, no shot at the driver though. Don't take this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
There's no complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just one of those deals.
Pile
when
looks
we went
great,
down-
you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like loaders sometimes, you know. There's one loader that wants you super uptight onto the pile. He wants
Right.
you right up on it, right? And then there's us that we're like, no, we don't need to be up to the pile. So, I mean, we can have 3 feet, 4 feet away, and we'll still fill in that whole area
Absolutely.
there, right? In this case, you know, we're dumping from one wall to the other wall, and I don't know, was there any space in between the stock pile and our pile? With like,
I mean,
Not-
JR, we
not a
can't
lot
see it in the
from the
photo.
picture,
I would
yeah.
tell you the two materials were touching.
Yeah, because you could see the concrete outside of it, and when we were down there,
Yeah.
the concrete is barely wider than the pile, and he had it inside the concrete.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a please back into the bend whenever you can,
Yeah.
unless you
Yeah.
truly have somebody's permission to dump across it, which we shouldn't do. But it's just a place we take extra care.
yeah, it's
Kind of somewhat a higher profile
Yeah.
customer.
you know, the question was asked too, you know, because we were just talking about it, was like, okay, well, what if that new person, if it's not the regular person, right? What if they told our driver, yeah, just go ahead and dump right there. You know, that could be taken two ways. Either you dump the way you are right there sideways, or
Sure,
or
yeah.
he meant, you know, yeah, that's the bin, dump in that
right
bin,
there.
right?
Pull
But-
forward, get adjusted and backed in the bin, right? Jim?
yeah, exactly. So it depends a lot. And you're right, Jim, you know, get the loaders or somebody's permission if you're going to dump differently than what you're used to, right?
Yeah.
I made this example to Brother Dave as far as like plant 2. We all know that backside over there just gets full of that water, you know, that lime water or whatever it is, that when we're bringing in pea gravel, the stockpile's like right out there, you know. And for me, when I've gone in there with pea gravel and they want it in the stockpile, I don't like getting in the water. Like, I don't want to get my truck in the water or anything. So I'll turn around somewhere where I can just back to the bin. And plus, you know, we got to get out and open up our tailgate. I'm not going to step into that water. So
Yeah.
Right.
I got to dump sideways, and I'm going to try to make it as tight as possible, as close as possible to, you know, make it still look good, and obviously get permission from the loader and be like, hey man, just FYI, I'm going to dump this way because circumstances.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
most of the time they're good with that.
Yeah. Because you communicated, and I even think there was some communication that went on too. There was it's just a weird one.
I agree. All the normal people that are normally there were gone that day.
Yeah.
And there were different people taking care of different things, and there were some bosses around, and yeah. So,
It was a coincidence. All the normal people gone on the same day.
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
And that was brought up. They weren't shy about going, we think,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, Sidekick. So this is coming from dispatch, guys. Sidekick, before you call in for your next load, so you had 3 loads, 4 loads, whatever it is, and you're done early and you're waiting for the next one, before you are done and calling in, well, when you're done and before you call in for that next load, please make sure you have all your information uploaded and cleared so that dispatch can assign a new load and no errors pop up on the driver's app. I'll kind of go into this next one too because they kind of tie in. The app is meant to be used while performing the dispatch, not at home the day before or at the end of the day. So guys, what dispatch is asking you guys, let's go to that first one, right? Don't call in before you actually upload all your information. The way they see it on their dispatch screen is that they have their, you know, they dispatch you 3 loads and they have all of those in order. If they were to assign a new load before you uploaded all your info, it's gonna give that next load that they dispatch and put it up to the top of that list, which is gonna give you guys the errors as to why you can't arrive or you can't upload any of the information. So it's very important that you guys are actually putting in that information every single round and making sure that you're clearing all that out of the app so that way they can actually have a successful dispatch when they're sending you something new for the day or even for the next day because you're done at the end of the day. So that's very important. As far as not, you know, the app being used, guys, when you guys get your loads and your dispatch at night, please don't swipe arrive or anything while you're at home because you're trying to get ahead of the game or anything like that. No, that's all meant for you to use while we're out there driving and actually, you know, finish loading or while you're loading and stopped, you arrive, you put in your scale ticket info, you get to the plant that or the customer that you're delivering to, and then hit arrive there or arrive to consignee, and then send the data form and all that stuff. So that way it closes out that dispatch. This application, it works very well when we get it to work correctly, but we really, really need your help on the dispatch side there. So please put in all your information as you're going throughout the day. Don't wait till the end of the day to put in your tickets, because I'm sure I saw it downstairs if I'm not mistaken, but they already have a list of so many tickets that aren't even in the system right now that are not getting paid. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think we gotta tighten down on that. If the app's not working, then we need to be notified or let know, and we need to work and get the app. But if you're just skipping and not doing your tickets, we're not going to continue to hand enter the stuff and pay.
Yeah, if you don't care to put in your own info, because that's your paycheck, right?
That's
the
your
way
paycheck.
I see it, my
That's your
opinion.
paycheck.
If you don't care enough to do your job the way we're asking you to do it, so you get paid correctly, then I feel like you shouldn't get paid.
Exactly.
Like, okay, if it's not in there, it's not in there. Too bad for you.
Yep. And if your dream is to own your own truck, learn how to do it. Take care in your procedures and your steps, so that someday when you own your own truck, you're going to have to bill it. You're going to have to enter in the computer. You're going to have to do something with it.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to do it. And like you said, if you don't care enough, then I guess that it sounds terrible, but why should we care?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, the saying that always goes out there, you gotta take care of number one. Okay, take care of yourself. Make sure all your information is being put there, because that's for you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. We got a Cemex update. Brother Dave, you kind of mentioned this about somebody had mentioned something about the scale being bumpy and wanting to get smoothed out.
I laughed at this one, Brother Dave, because who responded to him was Kurt up at CMEX, and Kurt's a good guy. He's a little bit of a different guy because he's to the point and very, very serious. And yet, when we went and had lunch with him, and you can't get him to joke, and he's a really interesting guy. But the text to Dave was so Kurt-like if you knew him, because they don't want you hitting the scale. They already had a scale get hit and all that kind of cost. So Dave, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so the scale they had get hit is at one of their facilities in Florida. Same identical scale, same identical kiosks, and that kiosk was $91,000 to replace.
Wow.
So in the email, because I've sent him 2 emails now. The first one was when it was brought up, and I think that was one caller question.
Dustin? I thought it was Dustin.
Dustin Courier?
Yes, Dustin Courier asked if the around the pile could be bladed to smooth out the ruts, and then both entrances to the scale, the on and off. And I sent it to him, and he totally ignored the bumps at the scale entrances. And I was like, that's weird. So then I reached out and asked again about a week later, because he never answered. And then he replied again to another question and still didn't answer. So then I talked to him yesterday, and I'm like, Kurt, what's the deal on the bumps in front of the scale? The guys are saying it's a kidney buster. And he's like, Dave, not going to lie to you, I have him there on purpose. He was like, I'm not going to get rid of him. He said it slows everybody down. They're a lot more cautious and attentive pulling on the scale, because he goes, we can't have that scale down. And he said, when he gave me the price of the kiosk, I'm like, yep, we can't hit it either. So it sucks. I get it. I want it smoothed, but I understand his point. And unfortunately, we're not the only company he's dealing with there. There's a lot of Bergner trucks that go in and out of there, the Truck Pro or whatever it is. Yep. And
probably a lot, nothing to do with us, but our brotherhood has ruined it possibly.
Yep, exactly. And it's a major inconvenience, right? If you hit it and break it, you don't have to deal with it, but everybody else does.
Yeah.
So an error on your part causes a lot of emergencies on someone else's. So anyway, it sucks. I'm asking to please go slow. He did say he has everything around the pile, all the ruts smoothed out. He does have everything taken care of there. As a matter of fact, I may as well just talk about it since we're talking about CMEX, but where we were dumping the old Arcosa material, they about have that pile gone, and he anticipates it being fully gone by the end of the week. He will take that spot and grade it flat and get rid of the Arcosa material, and we'll transition and start dumping the LG Fort Lupton material on that spot next week, and they'll just advise us when the time comes. So you guys, the drivers, will probably be the first ones to know when that happens. When the loader operators will probably just tell you, hey, start dumping here instead of there, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, more creative ways people have found in dealing with drivers because of a trucker's reputation to slow us down.
What's that saying that goes something like, if you think it's broke or whatever it is, just leave it the way it is if it's still working or whatever. If it works for them, for us not to hit the kiosk, that's one scale.
About if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. There you go. So the way I'm thinking is like, okay, yeah, that's one scale, one kiosk. If that goes down, it goes down for everybody. And I can't even imagine the backlog of
Oh my gosh.
scale tickets and stuff, right? So we turn that around and go back to our app, right? The application of how we're asking our drivers to use the app and how to input their info. It's the very same thing, As soon as you skip that step or don't do it the way that we're asking you to do it, it backlogs everything over here as well. I'm sure the ladies up here are just typing away info and ticket information into the system, so
it's a jam up backlog.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a little bit of a technical question, and maybe you can answer, Dave. So the material, we all know the material up at Arcosa is an expanded shale, is the lightweight that they make. So I'm imagining the fines that we've been hauling over to CEMEX is shale fines or something like that. How is there possibly a same type of material in the ground out at Fort Lupton?
I can't answer that, Dave. I know the cementitious value and then a lot of just the chemical analysis, because they keep saying if the chemical results come back good, if the chemical results come back good. So there's some type of chemical product in there, Dave, that in order for them to start producing the lower carbon cement, there's less carbon in this material than there was up at Arcosa. And I don't know how that works with the shale or any of that, Dave. So I'm truly, I'm no chemist. I don't know how that stuff works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to have certain material in cement to make it work.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to Google that. What's in cement?
I'm just honestly
certain
thankful
minerals.
we're out of Arcosa.
Yeah, because the thing about it is they're always looking for that material or materials.
Oh boy.
And then I think one of the other things, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, is before they moved or made the switch, they did a bunch of testing, Super Dave, and there's plenty of that material there, right, Dave?
Yes,
There
I can say that.
Yeah, that we're. I'm just going to speak these words out. There's like a lifetime of material there, and I know there's hot.
So you're talking about drilling test holes in the ground or something?
Oh, totally. They did
to see what's in the ground.
Yep, and they tested it, Dave, and there's a lot of it there. We could haul out of there. Don't hold me to it, but like for 10 years, and that's our haul for CEMEX.
So is LG Fort Lupton screening that material out, separating it from the sand and the rock they're digging?
Yeah, at a certain point, Dave, they stop pulling the rock out because it becomes a shale, and then they separate it. Yeah.
It's
a layer in the ground.
It's the same stuff they coat the ponds with.
It's like
Dave.
bentonite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Okay.
It's when they
reminds me.
we're done with rock, we hit the shale. That's what we're hauling, Super.
Okay. That makes sense because I've seen that layer before.
Yeah.
We've seen it when
we've
been on job sites and stuff. Yeah.
I guess maybe to answer your question, I think I understand what you're asking. Arcosa was basically producing that.
Yeah.
That was a product that had been ran through their mill and is a byproduct.
Yeah, it's like squeegee.
This stuff here at LG, they're just digging it out of the ground. It's just laying there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, up at Arcosa, they're mining shale.
Yes.
That's what they're mining.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything in that pile is a remnant that has been ran through their plant over the last 30 years.
That's why it was such a big pile.
Yeah, exactly.
And boy, did we make a dent in it.
Yes,
we cleaned that place up compared to the way it was with that mountain of material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get through most of the whole thing there, or
I don't even think we made it halfway, JR.
Gotcha. But they switched because they weren't liking the chemical composition of it or whatever.
Better product out of LG. And when I say better, I think their needs have changed a little bit as well. And I'm going to go to that chemical analysis, that chemical breakdown again.
With green concrete.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of funny. We were just at our pour this morning. We're pouring almost 400 yards of that apron that goes out in front of our bay doors. And the new concrete just sucks. It's like the technology in the trucks. It just doesn't work. And they're talking about the low carbon in it and the carbon cure. And, it's not as strong as the old concrete. It's more expensive than the old concrete. It doesn't finish as well as the old concrete. I mean, there's guys running around out there with stickers on their hard hats that says bring back type 1 and type 2 cement, and that's all of the greenies getting after everybody, and everybody's convinced carbon is bad. Carbon is bad. Carbon is bad, bad for the environment. And it's all a scam. So I'm sure at some point in massive doses, of course it's bad. Have we made our planet better? I'm sure we probably have. Is the air a little cleaner? I'm sure it probably is. But in the whole big scheme of things, man, we've been duped, and it's going to take a lot to reverse that.
I mean, if the old concrete was like the old stuff we were pulling out of there, that was some solid stuff.
No kidding, JR. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I guess that's yard 23 for what's next, or do you got anything else? Any other updates?
Yeah, yesterday, shout out to Scooby. He put the first load of rock on the roof. We have to cover the roof material up there with, it'll be between 250 and 300 tons of 1.5-inch rock, and that makes the roof basically hail-proof. They claim we can take a hailstone the size of a 4-inch ball up there and not damage that roof. So we're kind of excited about that. I don't know. Got 2 more loads scheduled for tomorrow, it sounds like.
I think we're ready to go to war.
Right?
7 inches of concrete wall,
Yeah, right.
rocked roof.
Yeah.
Let them shoot the cannons at us.
I think it'd be hard pressed to say a 4-inch hailstone could hurt inch and a half rock.
Right?
Yeah,
Right,
I
Dave?
just don't see it.
Yeah.
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 And,
you know, and then,
depending on how thick it is, it should just absorb it, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
if you figure it's what, 2 or
Yeah.
3 inches thick, I don't know. Hard
Yeah.
to say, but
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was a kid. I was riding my bike down to the hardware store one summer and I got caught in a hailstorm. Oh my God, those hailstones hurt.
I
they were like little too.
That's funny.
My dad made me walk out in a hailstorm one time when I was a kid. I think I was like, I don't know, maybe 8 years old. And we had a Blazer back in that day and brand new, super nice for the time, you know.
Do you have any laying on the hood to protect it?
No, he had here's what boggles my mind, right? So he had one of those tarps over it, right? Or a cover, a SUV cover, you know, to protect it from the sun, all that stuff, because he would get it polished, all that good stuff, right? Well, this hailstorm comes in and it ripped that cover, so the wind was just kind of making it go all over the place, whatever. So he ran out there, wanting to get it off. He makes me go out there and, you know, hail's hitting my head and my legs and everything. I was in shorts. I remember that. And man, he was so mad that I was crying because, you know, it hurt. For an 8-year-old, that was some big hail, you know?
Right?
And he got so mad, let's just say he got pissed off enough to basically put some hands on me. I went back inside and he took the cover off and I'm just like, well, what's the point of all that? I mean, you could have just finished for the hailstorm to be done, but whatever. Yeah.
there's no crying in hailstorms.
So my brother-in-law has one of those inflatable covers and he calls it his car burrito. And he, I think it's a Land Rover or something that they have to park out in the driveway, but it's hooked up to the internet and he can inflate it from his phone wherever he's at and he gets alerts.
Yeah.
It'll send him an alert about severe weather in the area. And I'm like, that thing rocks.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good, Dave. They work really well, supposedly.
It's a hail bubble,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen those, but they're pretty expensive too.
Oh, yeah. But so is the repair job on a hail, right?
Kind of
Yeah.
makes you wonder if the insurance company would give you a discount on that because they should never have to pay for a hail repair.
Right?
We had a car totaled from the hail. It broke through all the windows and all of that.
Well, when my Dodge got hit too, that was bad. It needed a whole new roof.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? Was that like 5-6 years ago? When that was when Denver West Mall, right? That Denver West Mall or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
that
was JR.
the roof caved in, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's more, JR.
It's been more than that.
We had that car at our other house, and this year will be 9 years. So
Yeah.
it's over
So it's been
8.5 years, JR.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Dodge got hit in 2017.
There you
you
go.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost 10,
Yeah.
close to 10 years. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Dave were just listening to the radio, I think coming back from yard 23, and the guy was, he was being interviewed about a sprinkler system that goes on the outside of the house for wildfires or, you know, forest fires for the homes that need protection. And he's developed a whole system. It has battery backup. It's solar ran. You know, he said that most wildfires take, was it 15 minutes, Dave? Was it even, or it was shorter than that?
Come and gone in
15 minutes.
So it passes through.
Pass
that
through.
fast.
Yeah, how
15
fast. And their system will put water on the house for an hour.
So it's pointed towards the house?
It's on the house.
And on the house.
And it'll
okay.
spray, and their pumps come on and spray it. And they said, has it ever been proven? And he mentioned it, and me and Dave said, was that out of all the homes? So there was like, I'm making this part up, there was like 10 homes destroyed, didn't have his system. One survived, and his not not everything was okay with it.
And it's kind of funny because he learned from the LA fires not to use city water.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember,
I was
they
going to
ran out of
ask that.
city
Right.
water.
So it runs
So
off of a
he has
supply.
a couple. Yeah, he
Yes.
has a couple water tanks
retaining
they put in
pond.
the basement, and then not use city power because 9 times out of 10 the power lines are burned up.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a battery system.
Yeah, it goes
And it'll
from
run-
AC to DC.
And it has a solar panel
Yeah, but if you can't,
So
if you
charge
don't have,
the
to
batteries.
keep the
Yep.
batteries fully charged.
if
all
you
the
don't
time.
have constant AC,
Yep. I mean, he had all the bases covered. Like it was self-deploying when the time came.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you say self-deploying, are you talking about like there's a thermal sensor or something? Like if it gets this hot, then there's probably a
we
fire.
gathered that, and then also like Dave's saying, maybe by the alarms, or you could be someplace in internet and triggered it. You could be someplace safe and watch your house, or
Yeah.
however.
I mean, I would think somehow you have to be able to activate it not being there because,
Yeah.
I mean, usually in the wildfire situations,
you're out.
They're calling you, the day before, like there's a
Evacuating.
fire in your area, you got to get out. Or
Yeah.
the fire's coming your way, you need to leave. whatever the case
Evacuation
may be.
orders. I mean, with that already, you already know. And
Yeah,
then with Ring cameras and stuff, right? And I mean, hey, there's a fire, turn them on.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the guy that tested the shark bite suit. Are you just going to stay in the house and you hope the sprinkler system comes on? Because you have to wait. I mean, you're literally waiting until the fire gets there. Like you're waiting to the worst possible moment to turn everything on. That would suck to flip that switch and not hear anything.
Well, flip the switch and have it run out of water before the fire actually got to your
right,
house.
Dave?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. There's, I wouldn't want to be there testing it.
Yeah.
Or you forgot to pay your internet bill and you don't have no connection.
Right.
Talk about hating Comcast.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
We
I
have
mean,
an
how does-
outage in your area.
that is such a good question because they didn't go over that.
Yeah.
Because if they have it battery backup, that somehow they must have something cellular to get to there.
Well, I like
Well,
JR's idea about being thermally protected, Dave.
Yeah,
Here's a certain heat,
I
and
bet you that's how
it's
it works.
coming on no matter
Yeah.
what. It's not
Yeah.
human ran, so there's
Yeah.
not an internet problem.
Like
there's,
maybe they have sensors on.
there's not a
making
breakdown.
up all 4 corners of the yard.
Yeah, basically a fire alarm around your house,
right.
that senses the smoke or heat.
Yeah.
Triggers the sprinklers. Yeah.
Yeah, because you figure even if it's in the sun, I mean, how hot does the sun get when you're directly out there? Maybe 120, 115,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
What does a fire burn at? 300, 400
Oh,
degrees Fahrenheit?
Hotter
whatever
than
it is?
that, but
Even
there's
hotter?
an ignition point for wood.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Before
It
it
won't
busts.
catch on fire, let's say 300 degrees, but it will at 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably
and then-
hotter than that, though.
And then all internet lines are pretty much underground, are they not? So,
in the new neighborhoods, they
Yeah.
are.
Or
Not in older neighborhoods.
in the air. What's it called?
like wireless?
Satellite.
What? Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Wireless, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there's not a tower nearby or something.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
All right.
How much does the system cost? Did you see that at all? by
We didn't.
chance?
We didn't get
No?
that far, Dave. It was a quick little. But you're back to the same thing. What's that house cost?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
what?
I mean, I can't imagine it being more than 20 or 30 grand.
You wouldn't
And if-
think so. I mean,
And if you lived in California, oh my God.
I mean, I would be all over it.
You know?
You just have to.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Wouldn't Colorado be kind of considered a high risk fire
Oh,
area?
oh,
I mean,
yeah.
as
If you
dry
were-
as it gets.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you were in the forest,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the guy was here.
Okay.
Yeah, he came up with the idea.
His
He
house
mentioned the fire from
Burned down in Superior, huh? Chip?
2010, 2013. It was before that, Dave, because
Oh.
I thought the same thing. But yeah, he was from.
Well, I'm just like you, Jim. I've always thought I live in suburbia. It's not going to, my house isn't going to light on fire
Yeah.
until that Marshall fire came around.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that was a mile away from my house. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they done a nice job building the different homes and filling back in the neighborhood, though, Dave?
yeah.
There's some neat homes being built.
Yeah,
That-
there is. Yep.
That's still a once in a lifetime event, though, Dave.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was an oddity.
It really was.
I mean, nothing could have lined up with
Yep.
the wind. We didn't have any snow. Everything that was an oddity.
yeah,
That
until
was-
the next day.
right.
The snow put the fire
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
so
That was like
crazy.
God.
But
And
they
even-
said the odds of those winds, because the wind didn't just go one direction. It literally, I
Mm-hmm.
watched a documentary on that, and the wind actually changed direction
Like-
all 4 times, and then it went.
I was going to say, I thought it was 4 times. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It went north, south, east, west. It was things like that don't happen every day. It was a strange.
It's like the devil was dancing in that neighborhood.
I tell you what, it wasn't good either. It was not happy, JR.
Well, I know what you're talking about, though, Super Dave. You're thinking more like natural disaster type stuff, right?
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. Like, man, when am I ever going to get a fire over in Brighton? Like, that's not going to happen, right? But then I start thinking about neighbors, and I'm like, somebody's going to do something, right? Like, they leave a stove on, something burns,
Right.
the iron, and they leave it on the carpet or something. You know, it just takes one little action for something to spark off.
Right. I do have one more thing for discussion, and it is all the material changes that happened today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I made
Dave?
several announcements and this morning on the radio, and I just want to go over it again, that the rock for plant 11 will come from Morton. The rock for West plant will come from LG Fort Lupton. The rock for plant 3 will come from LG Fort Lupton. The rock for Central will come from LG Fort Lupton. And then the sand for plant 13 will come from LG Fort Lupton. So lots of material changes there. Don't know what poses those things, what they run into. It's just something we have to deal with. You know what? We can handle it.
Yeah, I would bet that would be more of a LG request. Do you think? Like, hey, our inventory or stockpiles are low over at Ragsdale. Can we switch you guys over to Fort Lupton? And, Brandon saying, okay, that's fine.
Well, last I was at LG Firestone, which is, I don't know, not even a week ago, their rock stockpile was non-existent. There was no rock being, like, they were making rock, right? But it was a small pile. Like, you can, I don't know, maybe fill up 3 trucks and you were done.
Wow.
So I don't know if they were like filling out of the hole or if they have another stockpile that I wasn't able to see, but that could be part of it, right?
Yeah.
They're running down low on material. So, yeah. All right, guys. So we're looking for a Coors Night driver. Is that still the fact, or did we find out what's going on?
I think we should definitely ask if anybody's interested.
Yeah,
I think we
still
got to tap
interested.
on somebody, but we need as many names in the hat as we can get.
And that would be for backup too. It shouldn't be one guy just left trying to do it.
Yeah.
And I know we did have one volunteer and jumped right in, grabbed the book. He's doing a great job so far. So we appreciate that, but we could use some more.
Yeah. And are we still entertaining the fact of maybe that split shift thing or just a one night, the way we've been doing it for years?
Yeah. If we didn't get a solid night guy or a solid couple night guys, that's the reason we entertain an option of somebody splitting it, JR. Yes, that's still, a couple guys come to us, want to take the morning or after, but now you need 2 people, one wanting to work one shift, one wanting to work the other. It's just more difficult.
Yeah, and you can't really have one without the other.
Exactly.
So,
but we were just trying to open it up to help ourselves and help somebody being stuck on it. But like I said, I think we have somebody that's, going to jump in there and try it, but we could always use backups or share it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And just thinking a little bit more about that split shift idea is that they would probably have to share one truck, right? Because one person comes in, the other person jumps in, that kind of deal. Yep. So that's the other option, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. All right. So we got on here the Samsara Safety Summit and what's coming in the future for Samsara. First off, guys, I want to thank you guys for giving me that opportunity to be able to assist to that. I know we always have like some Zoom calls when there's updates and they want to show us something new, but this one was actually here in Denver, downtown, and they put on I'm going to just call it a luncheon, basically it is, and it felt more than just a regular luncheon. I was expecting like, Subway sandwiches or Jimmy John's or something, and it was at what they call the Water Grill. And that was some good food. It was all seafood, and I was not expecting it. And I'm like, holy crap. They had appetizers with, steamed crab, oysters, all that stuff. And then obviously your salad or clam chowder for, whatever it is in the beginning of before your entree.
Yeah, your appetizer, yeah.
Yeah.
Clam chowder.
Appetizer on top of an appetizer, right? And then your main dish and all that stuff, and it was super, super fancy, but very informative. They were working in conjunction with the city and county of Denver. They were using them as the example for running a quote unquote, one of the best safety programs in the area, and, going through that, I did learn a few things, but what I mostly learned from there is that, guys, we are beyond what they were showing us there. Like we've done a lot more with our safety program than where they were at. And what I'm saying is Denver, right? From my understanding is that they haven't even turned on their mobile usage AI feature that we've been using for years, right? To identify if somebody's grabbing their phone and warn them, hey, put down your phone, all that. But they just turned that on not even 30 days ago or so. So they just barely started that. But everything else they're doing as far as incentivization and everything, we're already on top of that. We already offer, safety bonuses for your scores and all that stuff. So that's good to hear on our side, right? But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, you wanted more ideas as to what else we can do. And there's a few things that kind of came up that I think we've all discussed and we can discuss further later on. But as far as how to make the safety program work for all of us, right? For our end goal and at the same time for our drivers as well. Some things they did provide some information here as far as some stats as far as what they've actually seen throughout the years or throughout the time that they've had their dash cams out. But just quick info here real quick. One of them is drowsiness, right? That's a big concern for all of us. And we obviously kind of saw something like that about 2 weeks ago or so that kind of bit us in the butt a little bit. But about 67% of drivers have experienced drowsiness at least sometimes while driving. So that's more than half. So if you think of our fleet, 110, 120 drivers, and that's over 60 drivers.
Yeah, I got to jump in, JR. Excuse me. I think that's way low.
Me too.
Yeah.
Way low.
Me too. I think it's 100%.
Uh-huh. Yes.
If you've driven all day long, at some point you've experienced tiredness.
Yeah, you got the sleepies.
You got it.
You're fighting a cold. Whatever.
It's like the whole, what if I'm a brand new driver? I'm barely starting this journey and stuff, and he's super energetic. And I get that too, but there's always that ongoing joke. I remember my first day,
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, you're right, Soup. I think all of us go through a portion of our day where we're just like, oh crap, I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, like right after you eat lunch.
Yeah.
And you're getting that midday, the time where everybody in Italy takes a siesta, right?
Right.
or when the sun is coming up.
That's a tough time.
Starts warming up.
Yeah, if you start early in the morning and then you have that sunrise, you just want to go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just some days you're not affected whatsoever for who knows how many days in a row. And then all of a sudden you have that day where you're like, man, I am just dragging.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop yawning. I can't take that break. Take that break, pull over in a parking lot, pull over on the shoulder of the road, pull over on that off-ramp, do whatever you need to do to get out of harm's way, park, and literally take a nap, get in the passenger seat, take a nap for 20 minutes.
Hey, we have drivers that take up both seats. But no, kudos to those guys, though. I don't think we've ever gotten mad or anything for somebody calling. And we've had various people like, hey, I had a rough night. I need to close my eyes for 15 minutes or whatever, right?
Man.
And that's great to hear rather than, responding to an accident or something like that. So that's really good.
Jam says it all the time, JR, because we've talked about it so much. A sleepy person behind the wheel is worse than a person whose blood alcohol level
drunk
is
driving,
right?
Yeah.
Because at least they're awake and they're trying to avoid what's going on. They're just slow to respond.
They see two roads.
When you're out, you're out. You know what I mean? When you fall asleep, you fall asleep. You're not trying to do anything.
Yeah.
You're just going to hit whatever's there. So
you're asleep. You're only looking at the back of your eyelids.
Yeah, it's way more dangerous than being drunk.
And I personally have had those moments on road trips where you're trying to push, right? And then you're awake, obviously, and then you're like, what the hell happened in the last 10 minutes? What did I pass or when did I pass this place? So I think what's important is self-awareness and knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Is that if you start getting sleepy or drowsy or whatever, is that you set aside your ego as a truck driver and you say, you know what, I got to pull over.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Sunflower
seeds, man. Sunflower.
Some more stats here. We got the top 5 distractions identified by drivers. Number 1 is using your personal phone to read and send messages.
Shocker.
Yeah. Number 2, smoking and lighting a cigarette or vaping. Number 3 is talking on a handheld phone or hands-free device.
Shocker.
Number 4, using your personal phone to check social media.
Shocker.
And number 5, eating or drinking.
So 3 of the 5 are phone use.
Pretty much. But they got a little bit more into details as to what they were doing.
Right, but it's phone use.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing we fight. I think it's great, JR, how, when you came back, I was pretty excited to hear that news that here we are, this small little company, And I feel like we're light years ahead of city of Denver.
Yeah, no, I honestly felt that way. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the people there, or a lot of the companies being represented there, whether it was a trucking company or a security company, you know, that kind of stuff. Whoever has dash cams or a wearable, because that's what they've come out with now, is that you have a wearable camera on you.
Right.
You know, kind of like the police officers, is that they had a lot of questions, but they were questions that I really didn't care to ask because we were already doing it, you know?
Sure.
And honestly, I didn't have any questions. Like we're ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
This is the way I felt.
You were in the major leagues. You were down at the minors.
Yeah, I was misplaced a little bit, right? But the way they fed us, I didn't think I was like that. So if I was in the minors, I can't imagine the majors, you know?
So how would a wearable camera work? Or is that for a different application?
So-
like for security or something like that?
Security,
Not for truck driving.
not necessarily. I mean, unless the company, you know, truck driving, I could see maybe like the food industry where they're off the truck, they're not driving. And,
Okay.
you know,
Yep, that makes sense.
But Denver City and County of Denver is using it for their guys, like the
Equipment.
when they're working their city parks by themselves. Like when they don't have a partner or anything, they'll have a body worn camera with them, so that way, you know, for safety, you know.
Yeah, very similar to police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that wearable has like a button, like an SOS button, like a life alert.
I bet
type deal,
it
like-
does, or a fall detection or
Bet it
something.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
It
that.
would be kind of stupid if not.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, really.
But yeah, it kind of leads you into thinking, and I'm going to get a little bit more into that as far as what I learned, right, at the summit there. But it's where all this technology is starting to go to, you know, how they're going to start applying it. One of those things that City and County of Denver supposedly are applying their dash cams for a lot for, I'll just get into it. AI is going to be part of our future. It is part of our life right now,
Oh,
right?
it's coming.
But AI and every single one of our drivers is experiencing this. The camera has AI to where it can tell if you're grabbing the phone, if you're distracted. There's a pedestrian that's crossing the street, which is, you know, more for like the side cameras and stuff that we're testing out. You know, all that is AI. And one of the features that Denver is working with or trying to adapt or getting into place is that AI is going to be able to identify potholes and, you know, low tree limbs and anything that they have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to basically identify it so they can log it and basically get a work order out to go and fix it, quote unquote. You know,
I bet with AI too, JR, it's going to size up the size of the pothole, the depth of the pothole, the lowness of the limb. It'll probably put all those ratings in there and then can set and go, here's job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4 on the severity. I bet it'll do all that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the more and more you read about it, or the more and more you experience an app with AI or anything, it's just amazing, like how it responds to you, or, you know, you ask it anything and it just comes up with an answer, and it's all internet based, right? And Jim, I think it was you were just talking about the, what is it, skid steers? The
skid steer. Yeah, racing. They were doing flat track racing with skid steers.
Oh, man.
But they weren't really skid steers, Dave. They were just AI. And they just replaced all the cars with skid steers. And man, they're throwing dirt. They're raising the buckets up and down. They've got them pitched into the bank and spinning. And you're just like, that looks so real. And I know it's not, you know, but man, it's good.
And then you said they changed it over to some other type.
Yeah, they were doing dozers. The next I seen was track dozers.
Well, just like those memes you were showing me, JR, that comedian guy,
Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, it looked perfect. I mean, like it was real.
They are,
but it was completely computer generated.
Yeah.
You know, and we joke about it at home about those videos. Like, oh my gosh, if this looks this real right now, and you don't know enough to know that it is AI, we're going to get duped in the future.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if there's people that get duped right now by scam phone calls.
Yeah, by just a phone call, JR?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
And in the future, how do you know who is who on the TV or the computer or whatever?
I got a question for you, and I don't think you're a big gamer, right? I don't
Not
know.
Very big now, but
have they incorporated AI into these games to where you make a choice and the computer does something to counter that choice? So you're in battle, and it's not just an obvious step to blow this guy up, because then he might sidestep your missile and blow you up because it's AI.
Well, I mean, isn't that all the VR goggles, Dave? The virtual reality goggles when you put them on?
I don't know. I've never
You're
had them on.
interactive in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old
Well-
movie. Do you want to play a game?
Ow. Well, funny you say that, because there's a place I want to take the boys out to here in downtown Denver. I think it's called GameCube or something, but you are the controller. You are the person that's in the game, and you've got these big old screens, and it just reads your body movement.
Wow.
Wow.
And obviously reacts to whatever it is you're doing. So
Hmm.
I'm sure that's going to be a big, big part in the future. And Samsara made it very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm brain fart right here. Very apparent that is the way they're moving. They're
that's the
moving
way they're
towards
headed.
AI.
Yeah.
One of those things that a lot of the drivers probably heard the other day is we sent out a message, which we thought it was only going to go to their application, the Samsara driver application for the weather, right?
That you'd have on your phone.
And come to find out, it's actually going through the speakers of the dash cam. Like, so when we send out a message, a warning, like, hey, there's a freeze warning, or there's this imminent storm coming through this area, whatever, it's going to go to every driver that is in that area, and the camera itself is going to tell you. It's not going to wait for you to go and read the message in the app or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was a message that you either let the AI just kind of pre-populate it, or you type in whatever you want, right? And, that's going to be a great feature for us for dispatching, and anytime we're going to take anybody, or, take anybody to have to send out to Utah, or maybe even up to Fairplay, and there's a storm that we've been kind of watching, and that's going to be a very great tool for all of us.
Absolutely.
On top of the AI stuff, I mean, not only do we get access to our cameras and seeing our guys, but you'll be able to access other people in the Samsara network's cameras to look at road conditions and things like that, which was really, really cool before we send somebody in that area or something like that. So that's pretty much the big thing that's coming out of Samsara, is that they are 100% focusing on that to go AI. And it'll be to the point where I think these cameras, whatever updates they get, you're basically going to be talking to the camera, at which point, maybe the driver in the future is going to be like, hey, can you tell me what the road looks up 100 miles from here, or something like that,
That's a great point. Absolutely, Joe.
And I'm sure it's going to be anything like us talking to our phones, whether it's Siri, Gemini, or whatever it is, right? What's the other one that I was messing with? Gronk. I think that's the Elon Musk one. It talks to you just like you're a person. You can talk to it, have a conversation with it, and it responds to you just like you're talking to another person.
Yeah. Well, Alexa just redid their stuff too. You can upgrade right now for free. And I upgraded a couple of them, and she has a whole conversation with you.
Wow.
JR. Yeah.
So how do you do that? I'd like to do that.
Can't say you get lonely in the cab now,
It's
right?
all in the app, Dave. Just it's Alexa.
Like from here.
Well, you can do it on Alexa, and then it asks you to go to the app, but it's Alexa Plus is all you got to
Is
look
it
for.
Free?
Mhm. No, it's free,
Yeah.
Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's free now.
$3.99.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, free 99.
Free for
Yeah.
30 days.
Exactly.
Better not forget
No,
to
if it looked like it was still going to be free, but if they change it, I would want to be an early one. That's the reason because usually they grandfather you in as such. So, but on that camera, JR, I could certainly see you being in your truck, being able to ask, hey, I'm headed to Cheyenne. What's it look like?
Yeah.
And what's other cameras in the area look like? And they pull all the other Samsara cameras in a truck and show you, on your app or whatever, what it looks like. That would be amazing.
I mean, when you look at the map on Samsara's network, it's just like looking at a cell phone map of their coverage, right?
Yeah.
Like, so how many companies they have that have their product? I mean, there's probably thousands.
Yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
Sure.
So,
I think it's great too. I mean, we'll have a tough time if a truck's en route. We got 20 trucks headed up to Fairplay first thing in the morning, and we get word that, hey, the top of Kenosha is closed, or there was an accident or something. How cool that we can send that out through the camera, and they don't have to check their phone. The radio reception sucks, whatever the case may be. And that camera is just like, hey, there's an accident at the top of Kenosha. Please be careful, or whatever we choose to send. We're capable of that. And it just comes across. The driver doesn't have to do anything. He just hears it. Public service announcement. That's what I'd call it.
Oh, that's the map I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's supposedly Samsara's network right there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it looks no different than a cell phone coverage map.
Right.
You know, you see the
it's
whole
definitely-
U.S.
yeah, definitely the East
Yeah.
Coast there looks whited out almost.
And then this is Europe, by the way.
Wow.
So you got Spain and England, all that stuff there. So
Huh.
we're all over the place.
Interesting. How many people were in attendance down there? That event?
I'd have to say maybe, I don't know, maybe a good 50 to 75 people or so.
Okay.
Something like around there.
So it wasn't massive.
Not massive. No.
Yeah.
It was I thought it was a pretty small, good enough group to where you can have conversations and see what others were doing there. At our table, there was 2 Samsara reps, and they had just started 30 days ago.
Wow.
And they're very happy where they work at. Like,
Good.
The Samsara is like a good company to go to if you're ever in that technology field and stuff like that.
It's only going to get better. I'm just, at some point, everyone that's behind one of the wheels of our trucks is going to be thankful that we have this system to help them. They are going to get to that point where instead of, well, I don't know, watching me, there's always that drawback, right? And I know we're to the point we joke about the 2 questions. Do you like the cameras? No. Have they made you better? Absolutely. You know what I mean? There's going to be a point in time we joke about that. We kind of partially are now, but there's going to become a point in time where they're like, I love it. I absolutely love that camera. You know what I mean?
It's like having what are the racers call their partner, like a navigator or a spotter, that kind of deal, right? That person's watching things that you can't focus on because that person's, tunnel vision, right? Yep. That's something they promote about their first gen cameras is that, hey, we started off with these dash cams and almost any dash cam that has no AI, right? It's all reactive. It's after the fact, right? You get into the accident. Okay. Hopefully you got some footage to exonerate your driver or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the AI, they promote that the AI is being proactive.
Absolutely.
We're trying to identify these things before you
It's
actually get into an accident or anything like that.
Yeah, it's great.
So no different than the accident mitigation in trucks, it hits the brakes for you because it thinks you're not stopping fast enough or something. Yeah. So yeah, but great summit. I thought it was pretty cool, but like I said, I think I came out with a feeling of a feel-good feeling that we are on the right path as far as what almost every other company is looking for. Because there's companies there that have not even incorporated it yet, or they're not up to the level of whether it's Denver or us or whatever, that they're still working on a safety program.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for going too, JR.
Well, thank you guys. All right. Questions from the audience, guys. We have quite a few. First one here on the sheet is going to be from Steve Big Country. Life insurance. Does JFW offer it? And could or can we get it?
That is a great question. I mean, we're about to switch insurance companies here January 1. We'll start pulling that trigger. We could certainly ask them. I mean, I know
there was a portion of life insurance offered for a while there, Dave, and a lot of people didn't take it. But, can we offer it? Yes, I'm sure there can be something along with the short term, long term, or all that kind of stuff. But Steve, man, I have to really throw it out there. It's again, you're leaving it up to us, JFW, to offer you something. And I totally get your question. I think it's a great question, but the life insurance that I'm looking for at my age is not going to be the same life insurance that you're looking for at your age. There's whole life, there's traditional life insurance. There's so many products out there that I really urge you and anybody out there to get you a financial investment person. It might cost you a little bit of money up front, but that's all part of planning your future is your life insurance. What type and what age are you at this point? What's going to be the best for you? You might want to look at life insurance that's going to benefit your kids and their future. So we might be a one-stop shop for just a normal policy, but man, you guys all out there listening to this, you guys are sharp people. You need to really take care of yourselves and invest. JR said it earlier, invest in yourselves. And life insurance is that piece that you can invest in yourself, your future, and your family. So, besides what we could offer, there's a gamut of stuff out there that would help your financial future and your kids. And I urge you guys to check into it. Even just Google it. AI is answering so many questions. Here's another one right here where you can go, hey, what's the best life insurance for my 2 young kids? that I carry. AI is going to give you an answer, and I'm pretty sure it's right.
Oh my God, you can get into detail with it. I've messed with Chat GPT and all that. And you can be like, look, I'm 40 years old. I have these health issues, or I have these goals in mind. You could be very detailed. It could be a whole paragraph, a whole page of something, and it will narrow it down to options like, hey, well, you have this option, that option, that option. It's just amazing. It's like you talking to a financial advisor or something like that.
Yeah. Right. And JR, a shot against JFW, we don't have those options. When you ask a question like that, we're not providing that. We provide you guys with health insurance, and most of the time it's not the health insurance that you possibly need. We're just giving you a blanket that gets you out of the cold, but it may not help you. So still there's better stuff out there than we could possibly offer. But great question, and we can look at offering a basic.
Yeah, and I know Jim said, hire someone or whatever. You can call these places. They're going to have someone that can explain it, because you got your term life, your custom whole life, your, lots of different things. Obviously, the older you get, the term life is more expensive. If you're young, Jim and I happen to have two custom whole life policies, one on each of us. And what we like about that is it's life insurance the day it starts, but as you pay into it, it becomes a retirement account. So if you don't ever die, all that money, not all of it, but a percentage of that money that you've paid in, over 10 years or 20 years is a retirement. You can use it as
it works for you.
Like a 401k to a degree.
And carrying your life insurance if something would happen to you for your family.
Yeah. And then if you die, you get, there's all these terms to it, right? But at least you're getting something, where if you just get term life, okay, I bought a 10-year policy. Well, you pay for it for 10 years. If you didn't die, you kind of feel like you wasted that money.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere except to their whatever they're using it for.
So it's always, you want something if you give something, right?
And the term life too is, there is lots of people, we've done it here, that the term life expires and you don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have term life. No, that expired like 2.5 years ago. Yep. Yeah.
And what was it called that you were talking about?
Custom whole life.
Yeah.
Custom whole life. Okay.
And there's lots of products like that. Yep.
Well, speaking of investments, have you guys even checked like 401ks and stuff like that? I'm sure you probably guys.
They like Trump.
That and with, I don't know if it has to do with the whole minerals deal that they just signed with, what is it, Japan or Thailand? I'm not sure wherever he was at, but gold is up like 40 or 50%.
Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started investing, gold was like 5% interest or something like that. It's up to like 40 and 50% right now. And I'm just like, I'm putting more money in that.
Right? No, it's great.
I just switched it yesterday. I switched a little bit portion towards that.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, that's something else. If you're investing and have our 401k, take a quick look at your investments. Like Dave said, call somebody. They all have people there. We have a person that you can call, or that group you belong to. You can also AI
rebalance. It's called rebalance.
Yeah, rebalance. You can also AI it. There's a lot of stuff, but look at what's making you money right now. Shift some stuff around. Yeah, you got to be an advocate for yourself.
Yeah, we always push, like check your Samsara score, check your safety, your efficiency. This is no different. I make it a habit. At least once a month, I go in there and I kind of look at what's going on, right? And there's things that, sometimes you lose out a little bit on it, but then you're like, no, the whole, the 1 year, 5 year trend, like it makes you more interest. So I'm not even going to move it, right?
Are you being conservative? Are you being aggressive? What's your age? When are you going to retire? What are your plans? Yeah, all of that.
And if you don't know anything about it, there's certain profiles there too that you're like, hey, my retirement goal is 2060 or 2050 or whatever it is, right? The file is called the allotment of stocks or whatever it's called that year, right? And you can just put it in there and they automatically just switch it from aggressive as however young you are, right? The younger you are, the more aggressive it's going to be. And as you start aging a little bit more, they go into more conservative stocks and things like that. So
yeah. I just did a questionnaire, JR, that told you no matter what your age are, because you're spot on that. Younger you don't have to be. Maybe you're a little more aggressive, or maybe you switch it around depending on your age. But it asks your investing style, and there was a bunch of different questions to give you, like whether you're conservative or you're more aggressive, and then they give you a portfolio for that. And that was just a questionnaire.
I mean, every young guy should be like super aggressive. If
Yeah.
you're super aggressive to live paycheck to paycheck, hey, YOLO, you only live once.
Yep.
You should be doing that with your investments
Yep.
also.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah. All right. Got more questions here from Zach Tharp. Good morning, JR. Hoping you're well, brother. Just a couple quick questions for the podcast. If I understand correctly, with our PTO, we have the option to put time in as contributions into our 401k. Would it be possible to have the whole or a percentage of our earned monthly safety bonuses in our 401k as contributions? So we kind of discussed this, right? And the way I kind of read that from Zach is that if he earned the full 9%, right, of his safety bonus, he's probably asking, could I put in 5% of that into my 401k and keep the other 4%, or vice versa, however you want to do it, right? The short answer is yes, right? But not automatically is what I'm getting, right? Like, it's not like you can go and tell Joanne, hey, I want this much into my 401k from there. It's more of because it's all bunched up with your pay, right? You just kind of either need to make a one-time payment of extra or just up your percentage.
I think to answer the question correctly is yes.
Yeah.
We are okay with that.
Yes.
Now we need to dive in. What does that entail? You know what I mean? What is the 401k company going to require this, or this? Do they want to see the same amount every week out of the paycheck? Are they okay with once a month, a dump? I'll call it a dump of contribution in there. When you get your safety bonus, you're like, I don't want to do that in my safety bonus. Let's dump it into my 401k. I mean, we're okay with it. We're okay with you using that. That's your money. We're super proud you earned it. We're super proud you're participating. That's all just win, 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 win. So then it's just the next questions for the next steps of is it possible?
Yeah. To be in the position to be able to make extra contributions, that's great. It's no different than, somebody that's trying to pay off debt and then they pay it off and you're like, holy crap, I got all this extra money.
Yeah.
I can now save or I can invest or whatever it is. So,
I mean, we talked to Zach about a month ago, or maybe longer, the way time flies, when we were over there at Yard 23, and he just bought it was new to him, but a Ford Maverick. And I forget what he was driving, but he went from like 10 miles a gallon to like
I think
20.
he had a Silverado.
I think you're right. Yeah.
No.
But he went from like 10 miles a gallon to like 25 miles to the gallon, or 30. So he's saving, tons of money in gas. Right. And then it was basically, I think he said, a swap.
Yeah. For
what they gave him for his other pickup and what he had to pay for this one. And he was like, it was just a win-win. He was all smiles. It was a win-win-win,
Oh, I believe it.
He's definitely.
And dealerships right now they're
willing to
putting
make deals.
up some deals right now. They're bringing down up to like $10,000 on the MSRP.
Right.
I heard somewhere that I think it's Stellantis, which is Dodge and Jeep and all that. They're offering the same credit, the same rates, like 0% or 2% interest, even if you have a shitty credit.
Wow.
Because they're so far behind on selling.
I'm not promoting people going out and getting into debt, right? But when you can get zero financing, 0% finance, that's free money.
It's free money. I was just going to say that, Dave. You can't get by it.
We talk about free money all the time, right, Jim?
Yeah.
But we're giving, instead of us giving you free money, they gave you, and I'm just, a $40,000 vehicle. I'm just picking a number out of the air, right? For zero money down, or not zero money down, but 0% interest.
Yeah,
they're letting you borrow that for, let's say, 60 months, 0% interest. You need to take advantage of that if you're in the market and can afford the payment. You know what I mean? Make all the lines line up for sure. So you're not going in a circle. But
it's like when me and you look at buying a truck, we go out and get a loan, and most of the trucks we bought last year were 5% and higher. So here's the truck. I'm just making it up, $90,000. And here's what you paid at the end of the loan, $130,000 or $140,000 for that $90,000.
With the interest, right?
Because of the interest. That's exactly what Dave's getting at. You just bought this $40,000 truck. You know what it cost you at the end of 5 years? $40,000.
Yeah, and not maybe 65. Right?
Yeah, exactly, Dave. Yeah, I mean,
nobody ever does that math. They're like, oh, I'm only paying 6% interest. Well, have you done the math on that?
Yeah.
Have you done the math on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's either Lowe's or Home Depot, one or the other, because one of them doesn't offer it anymore. But every time it's above $1,500 or $1,000 or something, we just did.
Do you have a credit card? Nope, but I'll apply for one.
Yeah, or they just offer, Dave, every so often you can just get free interest if you want to just do a loan.
Can you really? Jim?
Yes.
I'll be darned.
And
I
I think
that, Jim.
and it's I think it's Lowe's that does it, but it's just offered to you free. And Holly's always, yeah. And I'm like, why? And she was like, it's free. It doesn't cost us nothing, and we can either pay it off or we can't.
I was in Home Depot a while back, and they're like, if you apply for a Home Depot card, you get this for free. And I'm like, I already have one. And he was like, well, we'll let you have up to 5.
No, really?
Yes, 5.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yes, it's no different than buying a house, right? Like back when, or maybe it's the same, I don't know, but what was it a couple of years ago where interest was like 7 to 10%?
Oh, it's terrible.
Something like that. And so I get calls, I got lucky, I feel, right? 2.75% interest, whatever, right? And I get calls right now, hey, we're willing to refinance your home and you get this much on top, whatever, but the interest is going to be, 5 or 6%. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Right.
Like I'd be paying out more than what you can give me.
Yes.
So
yeah. We've been in our house, I think 14 years now. Anyway, so we've had the same loan company all this time, Colonial.
That's a rarity.
Right, Dave?
Yeah, I was going to say, mine just switched a couple months ago.
Everybody's get sold. And we even there was like a savings program with it. They said they were a small lending institution. They would never be sold. And they just sold, you guys.
Really?
And Holly was so mad. She goes, man, after all this time. And you know what they took away? And it's the stupidest thing. I told Holly, just F them, but no automatic payment. No automatic payments.
They're counting that you miss your payments.
Exactly, JR.
Oh, shit.
The new company. And I said, Holly, you seen the email? And she goes, yeah, I hope they send out letters. But do you know how many people are not going to know the company was bought out and not make their payment?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I told Holly, I said, I'd call them up, but I said, call them up and quit them. Same problem, JR. We have this low interest rate. Where can I replace them at? I can't.
Why can't I quit?
Yeah, there's a lot of bank consolidation going on. I just read an article about that, and it keyed my interest because First Bank was just bought by PNC. And Jackie and I have been banking there for over 40 years.
You know what, Super Dave? I think that's who it was that bought Colonial was PNC.
PNC, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. And so I was a little pissed too, Jim. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, but the automatic payment, man, if you can, set it up on automatic payment with that little bit of extra money, cut your payments down from, whatever it is, 30-year loan to an 18-year loan if you can afford it. Smart life choices.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So,
do you pay extra on your mortgage?
I pay $1,000 extra
a month, JR?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
I mean, same thing. I'm trying to, even if it's just cutting 5 years off or whatever, my initial thought process is I always want to be ahead of my payments because I don't want to get behind or anything.
Yeah.
Thank God I never have and I'm good and all that. But at the same time, you start thinking about it a little bit more and you're like, wait, I'm making more payments towards the principal versus interest. Why not?
Yeah.
Like you get it paid. If I could do 20 years, that'd be great. Not 10 years off.
There is a new thinking on that, JR, and we followed a little bit lately because your interest rate's so low. So you're really not paying much in interest and you're paying all this extra on your principal. What happens what if you take the money you're paying extra and invest it in different markets? Because once your house is paid for, except for, it going up in value for the years, it's not paying you back any more money once it's paid for. But if you would have taken that $1,000 a month here and invested it in different markets, what's your return on that in 20 years for your retirement?
True.
There's a different look at that, all that now.
I'll put a number to that, JR. If you could make an investment of $1,000 a month that's earning you 6% versus the investment of $1,000 saving you 2.5%, like you're doing with your home
I'd
mortgage.
rather do the interest. You're earning more off the investment versus
exactly.
the payoff, right?
You're earning
3%.
3.5% rather than saving 2.5. Yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah, because a lot of people will come to
It
you.
all depends on how your security or, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Your age, your all that stuff.
And what your interest rate is on your mortgage.
Memo to self, financial counselor.
But I mean, right now, sometimes it's kind of hard to find an investment that makes 6%.
Yeah, of course.
When a lot of people tell you they'll make you 8. And we, the stuff we've messed with, we've never made 8. Just not, but like some of the stuff you're probably looking at with the gold and, the weight with Trump in there now and some different stuff, there's probably some single ones making 8% or better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But your portfolio to make 8%, man, that's good money, right? If you have a loan at 2.5%, yeah.
I know me and Jam kind of check it together, and the last time we checked, and even yesterday when I checked, it's year to date is like 20 point some percent, and I'm like, hell yeah,
yeah.
If I could get it above 8%, that's great.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
already a win,
Right?
Because I think 8% is like the average.
Oh yeah,
over the lifespan.
Over the lifespan, there's the words. You're right, JR.
Yeah.
Over the lifespan, yeah.
But good thing. All right. And then Zach Tharp continues. He says, also, I think John Jordan brought up the sensors last year that turn off our trucks after a certain time period. I believe Brother Dave answered that. They weren't supposed to turn off if it is below 32 degrees. I have spoke to several drivers and experienced that they do shut off under 32 degrees. Is this possible to get this fixed for when we're doing longer runs throughout the winter where it could be a safety issue? Utah, as an example.
Yeah, we just need to dive into what trucks have what settings. And I know we talked about this before the podcast. I thought at one point when we looked into it last year, and forgive me, I just forget how all the settings are without being in that stuff every day. But I actually thought at one point too, we had it set at 32 degrees, not to shut off under 32 degrees at first start. You know what I mean? So I'm saying it's 20 degrees outside. You start your truck. The truck won't shut off until it gets to its temperature of, 180 or 200 degrees. Then it will shut off. Gotcha. I still don't know exactly where that setting is at. So I just need to find out. I need to dive into it and find out.
But either way, if you have a truck that's not doing it, then there's obviously a program issue or something, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah, that'd be something to possibly write up for sure. So
yeah, Zach, write that up. It's a good question. Yeah.
And then he did come back about 30 minutes later. Sorry for the late question. I thought of one more for discussion. With the new Salt Lake runs, if I-80 gets closed down due to winds or weather in the winter, what's the best alternative route? It looks like we may have to be able to go to I-70 westbound like when we ran to Redmond, then head north.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to start really doubling down on what the weather looks like ahead of time and try and keep ourselves out of there and probably just not go. I mean, financially, it's not feasible to run I-70 to go up to Salt Lake versus run I-80. The length of time and the miles out of the way and the extra fuel, I just don't think we can cover that haul. You know what I mean? It's not financially feasible to go that way. So I think what we'll have to do is really start watching the weather and just not going. And I don't know the tons and the volume of that so far. So
yeah, I guess to Zach also, with this new Samsara feature with the weather layer and the public announcements, I think we've all become JFW meteorologists now with that,
right.
Because
right.
The new feature on there just allows us to see so much more into the future than just going to a regular app or something like a weather app, which we'll probably still do. We'll compare apps and stuff like that, which like we always do every winter. But it's just a great tool to have for all of you guys and to be able to see all that stuff and send out warnings and, messages that you can get to your phone in the application. But it does require for you guys to be logging in and checking your scores and checking if you have any messages there. We're still going to put out messages on the company radio, obviously, every morning. Hey guys, watch out for this, that, whatever the case is. But the more access we have to be able to communicate with you guys in whatever form, we're going to do that. So
that I-80, I mean, that's just such a great question. That I-80 is just such a different beast. I mean, it just literally is a different beast.
There's a lot of high wind warnings up there.
Yeah. High wind and that black ice. And I tell you what, there's just a lot of times you don't know you're on that ice.
Yeah.
You just don't. So
if you can see the reflection of the lights ahead of you, then that's black ice.
Right?
It's
right?
shiny.
Exactly, JR.
That being said, God, I'm getting a brain fart here, but nope, not coming to me. I had something there. All right, guys, let's get into the safety topic of the week. This is going to kind of all tie in together. Fall into winter, trucking safely in Colorado. So obviously things change here from summertime to winter, and we're finally coming out of the fall, and it's still officially fall, but we're in that time where it starts freezing, things start freezing. You know, we're talking about black ice and possible snow coming in here in the next week or two or whatever. You know, a lot of things change here, and you lived here long enough in Colorado to know that weather especially changes real quick. But what's the objective? Prepare for changing Colorado road and weather conditions during late fall to prevent crashes, rollovers, and weather-related incidents. Some key hazards is going to be rapid weather changes, rain, snow, or ice, slippery grades, bridges, and shaded areas. For all you guys that are going up to Fairplay, you guys know very well that the shaded areas in the mornings they're gonna freeze over, and they're not gonna thaw out as fast as anything that's open up to the sun during the day.
Absolutely.
We just talked about daylight savings time. You know that the clocks are changing this Sunday, so reduced daylight and visibility. It's still going to be an issue as we go further into winter months. Fog, early sunsets, mountain grades and steep descents, fatigue, and distraction during longer hauls. You know, we were just talking about the sun and how it makes you lazy, or not lazy, but tired. After lunch or a meal, you get a little tired, but it also works the other way around where people sometimes in the dark, your natural reaction in the dark is that you start getting tired. You start getting sleepy. Unprepared trucks, that's a big one, right? Pre-trips and post-trips. You got to check your tires, your brakes, you got to have good traction in the wintertime. That's what probably one of the most important things that you should be looking at during the wintertime. Some safe work practices, pre-trip and equipment checks. Inspect your brakes, tires, lights, wipers, defrosters. I mean, pretty much everything you're going to need to be working on your truck. You don't want to leave here with, no windshield fluid at minimum, because, you need that to be able to clean off your windshield for all the mag chloride on the road and all that stuff.
Oh, man, in the wintertime, you can use a whole bottle.
Oh, yeah, you'll go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
And then some.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
check your fluids, ensure your heater and defroster work properly. Just had a truck the other day get fixed. I mean, the heater lines, the coolant lines that run into the cab for your heater and all that, they were leaking. Driver caught it, asked questions about it, and we were like, no, yeah, write that up, because, you're going to leak all your coolant out. How are you going to get any defrosting action, any heater capabilities inside your cab? Verify that chains and traction devices are on board and ready. Here we go again with the chains, right? You got to make sure that those are in good condition, that they're actually there for all 4 tires that are required. All 4 tires are required in Colorado to be changed.
I mean, have you noticed the notification boards on the interstate anymore? I mean, all commercial motor vehicles must carry chains. All commercial motor vehicles must carry chains. I mean, you see it out on I-76 on those reader boards. There's a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason they're notifying us. We need those, last year when we started that Utah assault, damn, how many tickets did we get for not chaining?
At Dumont scale.
We
3 or 4 right off the bat.
Yeah, it was rough. We can't have that this year.
The guys were only chaining 2.
Well, that happened
4.
once. Yeah, that happened once, and also not chained. And I mean, we ran the gamut up there. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one is going to be plan your route. I mean, a lot for the guys going out to Utah. I think that's natural to them because they're going out far. They want them to see what the road conditions are and all that. But I'd encourage everybody, even here locally, whether you're going to Fairplay, up to Young Ranch, whatever, look at your weather app, look at Colorado Trip, and actually look at what's going on. Is there chain law? Is there traction law? Know what the differences are. And then allow yourself extra time to get to where you're going. Don't rush to places. Expect the changing conditions, identify safe pull-offs, brake check areas, and alternate routes. And then driving techniques. I mean, this is something that we have to change as soon as there's any type of adverse weather. I mean, I'm not going to be driving 70 miles an hour at full governor speed limit on our trucks when it's super foggy or it's slippery, raining, all that. Like, it's not a good decision to make, especially, when your eyesight is so limited as to what you can see or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes into the dark. Don't overdrive your headlights as well. Let's see. Increase your following distances and signal early and often. I can add to that. If conditions worsen, stop safely and wait it out. And then ultimately be visible and communicate. Use your hazard lights when traveling significantly below the speed limit. Communicate clearly with dispatch and other drivers about hazards. I think we do that very well. Everybody's on that company radio always talking about accidents and fog and any type of anything that's going to affect any of us.
I tell you what, I see the hazards more and more and more often on road trucks. Like when you're rolling down the highway and you roll up to that spot where everybody, we just went from 70 to 20 miles an hour, and you'll see the road trucks that are looking ahead of themselves, and they'll pull on the four ways and they'll start slowing down way before that event where they have to stop. And I think it's a good warning because cars can't see from behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seeing four ways, and they're, hopefully instead of just taking that moment to jet around you, they're like, hey, something must be going on. I'm going to slow down.
Yeah.
I think it's just a good warning that people are starting to adopt.
Yeah, it is a good thing, I think, because it's better to know ahead of time, I guess, and you see a truck that's going slower, way ahead of whatever slowdown's going on ahead, than that abrupt stop at the very end,
Yep.
So, yeah. Stay alert. Adjust your rest breaks as daylight changes. Avoid rushing or skipping inspection to meet schedules. Watch for signs of fatigue, yawning, zoning out, and drifting lanes. These are just a lot of changes that we're gonna adjust to, right? As far as those things go. Some questions that I guess you can ask yourself or talk amongst yourselves with the drivers and stuff. And, what is the most challenging mountain route or pass you drive in Colorado, and how do you prepare for it? These are all questions that we should ask ourselves, especially if you're going to Fairplay or never been up there. Who do you ask? We have a fleet of a lot of drivers that, any one of them can probably point you in the right direction, or at least take you by the hand and under their wing and say, hey, just follow me, keep track with me, and you'll be all right going up that way or whichever way you were going.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have anything else to add to any of that?
No, good.
That covered
good
it
tips.
mostly, right?
I just want to go back. I was going to tease you when you were reading it, JR, but the first two words there on your driving technique, the first two words they say, slow down. Slow down. I mean, I feel like we say those words. It could be 100 degrees outside, and I'm finding somebody going, slow down, coming in this damn driveway. Do you guys know where Jim and I's offices are? The front of the building. When your truck bangs in the driveway, God, I go through myself and I turn around and look out the window, and it's like, you just barely catch the tail of something going in the driveway. We're not leaving. This yard isn't going to disappear if you don't make it here by 5. You don't need to come in that yard that fast. And that's where what scares me is you don't realize how fast you're going. If you don't realize how fast you're going coming in this driveway, are you going to be able to realize how fast you're going in a foul weather event? Those are the things that scare me. When we have a driver here that comes in the driveway so hard, so fast that their trailer bangs from one side to the other, when the drives hit it and then when the trailer hits it, is that driver aware how fast they're going in a foul weather condition, or when weather conditions changing? How hard charging are they going and not realizing it? So, slow down.
One of those questions that gets brought up by one of the drivers, like, well, how do you know we're going that fast? I mean, I could have just been doing 5. I was like, you're right. I can't tell how fast you're going, but I can definitely tell you're going too fast for the entrance when I see the lift axle on your trailer spinning.
Right? When the tires are spinning, you came in too fast.
Yeah. So that's a good gauge if you have a lift axle on your trailer. Yep. I mean, go slow enough to where that front lift axle is not going to hit the curb and start spinning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of times I just look at the driver. When you're bouncing around in the cab from side to side, and all your CB cords are smacking back and forth and everything like that. Yep. I'm like, you could just go slower. That's all there is to it. You don't need to treat the truck or yourself that way.
Well, we always talk about it too, Jim, is that you can tell which drivers are more stressed than others because they've been in a rush all day long.
Oh, yeah. They beat themselves to death. Yeah.
They look super tired when
they come in disheveled, right? They're the ones that drive through the big hole in the driveway here on the north side instead of going around it.
Yeah.
All
right. Tips and tricks with Armando, the Sergeant Duval. This is number 26, guys.
The
26.
Sarge.
So this one's named Pre-Trips. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week of tips and tricks. Please remember that the purpose of these tips and tricks are just ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. So this is nothing new for a lot of us, but I'll be going through my pre-trip checks. So first thing I'll do is turn my truck on. I'll then turn on my check light switch and head to the front of my truck. I'll wait and see if my low and high beam lights work. I'll also wait to see if my blinkers are working, then I'll open my hood and check both of my steer tires for any loose or missing lug nuts. With my sledgehammer, I'll be checking to make sure my tires aren't low on air. So I gotta kind of go a little bit differently than what Armando's saying here. I'm going to say open your hood before you turn on the truck and check your fluids before you turn the truck on. But Armando continues, then I'll open my hood. I'll pull out my dipstick and get the oil off with a paper towel or rag. I'll put my dipstick back in my oil tube and walk around to the other side of my engine and check and make sure that I'm at least at the minimum of my coolant and make sure that the lid is fully closed tight. Remember, if it's a little loose, after driving for a while, the temperature rising, it will bust out and cause a spill. There is a good chance that if the mechanics were working on your truck for inspection, they could have messed with it and probably not tightened it. Now I'll go back to my oil dipstick and check my oil. If I see that it's low, I'll quickly go to the shop and grab the bucket to top it off and add some. Hopefully that should fill it up, but in case it doesn't, try adding more at the end of the day or next morning. I'll close my hood and then start my truck. While I was checking my oil, coolant, and tires, I was also letting my truck cycle through all the checks. Please don't start your truck right away from turning it on. Doing this will probably give you a check engine light. What he's talking about there is the little clicking sound. I think it's the ABS system checking and all that. So yeah, he is correct, guys. Make sure you wait for all the clicking noises and all that, and you'll actually hear off, what is that, the air governor spout off or whatever, then turn on your truck. Let's see. Now with my truck running, I'll walk back and see if my porch lights are on and my def cap is closed tight. I'll now check my deck plate and make sure that my shovel and broom are secured and that my hydraulic hose, service and emergency line, tarp connector, and my trailer light connector are connected and aren't touching the deck plate. Now with my sledgehammer, I'll be checking my driver's side drive tires and make sure that I'm not low on air. Check your fifth wheel handle, make sure it's not pulled out. If it is, that means your fifth wheel is not locked on the kingpin and you'll drop your trailer the second you pull forward. I heard JR loves to pull it to see if we're checking. Check your tractor brakes and reverse light. Make sure they work. That is not correct, guys. I do not go pulling out fifth wheel. Yeah. Now your trailer, look and see if your marker lights are working. You should have 3 on the driver and passenger side of the trailer. The only add-on is the trailer ABS light, and that's on the driver's side rear of the trailer. Check to see if your turn marker light is on and flashing. Pull your trailer release gate valve and make sure it opens up your dog ears. Also look and listen to your airbags. Make sure that they are deflating after pulling your valve. Push your valve back in and make sure it closes your dog ears, locks your gate, and again, look and listen to see if your airbags on your trailer are inflating and check to see that you're cammed over. In the middle, underneath your trailer, you'll find your trailer air tank. Next to it, there's going to be a lever that you can turn. This is your auto air inflation. If you have it turned off, know that no air will go into your super singles if it's low on air already. Make sure we have the lever turned on. Check your trailer lights and make sure the brake lights are working and the flasher on working and your 5 little marker lights are working. Now everything I did on the driver's side, I'm also going to do the same process on the passenger side. The only thing I'll add is checking my fuel. I always visually check my fuel by opening my cap and see my fuel. I never go based on what my dash tells me. With my truck, it'll say I'm full when I'm probably like a 3/4 or half a tank full. Always check with your eyes. We had drivers run back to the yard to top off because they were low on fuel and thought they were full. Now we're inside. Look at your dash and check if all your indicators are working. Turn on your switch to deflate your airbags in your tractor. Good reason to check this is because with my truck, and I'm sure that there are others, when turning on my PTO, my airbags on my tractor will not deflate. If yours doesn't deflate after turning on your PTO, you have to make sure that they deflate by lowering them manually. Turn on your PTO, look at your dash, and see if it says PTO engaged. Listen to your airbags deflating and look out the back to see if they drop. If not, drop them manually. While my PTO is engaged, I'll be closing my tarp. Once it's closed, I'll raise up my trailer to the first stage. Once it reaches the stage 1, I'll drop it and also start opening my tarp. Now I know that my tarp is working and my trailer is working. Finally, I will disengage my PTO, and now I'm ready to drive. So everyone here has their way of doing a pre-trip and it works. This is just my way and hopefully someone learns something out of it. Reason why I do it like this is so that if something is not right or working, I can go to the shop right away and get it fixed. I don't ever want to go to the shop for something I missed when I could have caught it during my pre-trip. One thing I'll add, if you're loaded that morning, please don't open your tailgate and raise your trailer. Skip that step. I hope somebody listening learned something new from this, and if anyone has any tips or wants to add something on here about pre-trips, please share it with us through Connect. Let's all be better by helping each other. Please let me know on Connect Team what you think about this week's tips and tricks, and thank you all again for listening for the positive feedbacks. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next week, Armando the Sergeant Doval.
Nice one.
Good one.
Righty, Armando.
Good job, Armando.
That's a great one. There's probably a argument to be had, and I know Scooby's talked to several of the drivers, especially if you're a driver that's switching trucks or ended up switching trucks. But headed into this time of year, a lot of times it's, be colder in the morning, all that kind of stuff. You might be rushed doing some of these checks. If you're positive or the shop hasn't taken your truck in, there's so much of this that you can do at night coming into winter here where it's going to be a little bit warmer. I know it's going to start getting dark right at 5 o'clock, but get a lot of these checks out of the way. So in the morning, all you're really doing is, bumping your tires. You're looking for the tailgate being open, things like that. But there's a combination that you can do morning and night that saves a lot. I know like I said, Scooby mentioned to one of the other drivers, you check your oil every morning, and the guy's like, well, I checked it the night before. And Scooby's point was, well, what if the shop grabbed it and had to repair something and it was low? Usually that the shops grabbed it and stuff, but those are some of the items that if you check it at night and you've taken care of that, you don't have to do it in the morning, and that's somewhat giving you an excuse, but the norm should be checking it morning and night. But we're going into a difficult time of year. This to the period we just come out of, the mornings are gorgeous. It's cool. It's nice out. You got a few minutes. You can take your time, all that kind of stuff. So just, there's always a little gray area with all this stuff. The main thing is check your truck out.
Yep.
It's crisp. I mean, I think a lot of that rushing, especially this time of year, is because you're cold.
Yeah, absolutely.
So dress appropriately.
No.
And with that being said, I mean, make sure that you guys have appropriate gear for wherever you're going. I mean, fair play is going to be different than Denver, obviously, but be prepared.
It felt like fair play here this morning.
If it felt like fair play here, how did it feel in fair play?
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
It might have been one of those weather systems. It was colder here than up there.
It
Could have been, Dave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal. All right. Anybody have anything else? Or super? How about you hit us with that high road hauling?
I got a happy high road hauling here.
Happy high road hauling.
Happy high road
Is
hauling.
that the name of it, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you really happy, Jim?
I am. 90%.
Yep. If someone on the street asked you if you were happy, what would you say? Many factors. Well, a lot of times you're like, "How you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, right."
Living the dream.
Yeah. So many factors influence how we feel on a day-to-day basis, whether it's a struggle at work or an issue in our personal lives, and most of them can lower our feelings of positivity and well-being. We aren't alone, according to the 2013 World Happiness Report. I never knew there was such a thing.
Yeah, world happiness.
North American countries are less happy now than they were 5 years ago. But as scientific research has discovered, happiness to some extent is a choice. So why does it sometimes feel it's so hard to choose it? One answer is a bit surprising. As it turns out, we may be more joyful than we realize. We just aren't mindful of the signs. While no one can escape the pressures of jobs, inevitable conflicts, and even bouts of depression and anxiety, much of our emotional well-being isn't entirely dependent on external circumstance. To find more happiness, you might just want to look on the bright side. Here are some simple indicators of how happy you really are. First, you want others to share your happiness. Whether it's paying someone a compliment or performing a random act of kindness, when you're really happy, you want others to be happy too. And sharing that joy can help continue those positive feelings. Studies have shown that being kind to others can actually help increase your overall happiness level. And you don't sweat the small stuff. You just missed your bus, spilled your coffee. It doesn't matter. If focusing on what's important and not obsessing over minor annoyances is a priority of yours, it may be a sign you're in a good place. Next, you appreciate the little things. Nothing is greater than hearing your favorite song come on the radio or being outside and hearing a few birds chirp. The little things are what contentment is composed of. And if you recognize that, studies have shown that practicing gratitude is a key component to a happy life. And if you're thankful for the little things that make you smile, then it's a good sign you're on the right path. And next, you're proud of other people's successes. When you're happy, not only do you revel in your own accomplishments, but you also bask in the successes of others as well. You know that celebrating other people's victories connects you to others and offers a bit of good karma in the form of maintaining your own sunny outlook. And living in the moment is very important as well. Happy people know that living in the here and now is key to perpetuating a positive disposition. In his TED Talk on how to be happier, happiness researcher Matt Killingsworth detailed how getting lost in the present moment actually increases our feelings of joy. He found that most people were at their happiest when they were focusing on the current moment. And the next thing, if you're in a happy, healthy relationship, and that's not just with your significant other, as a happy individual, you know that people, not things, are the true keys of a joyful existence. Physical and emotional intimacy are both important contributors when it comes to maintaining overall happiness levels. And when something is stressing you out, you know how to calm yourself down. Keeping stress at a minimum is a key to a happier lifestyle. If you're really happy, chances are you found some stress-relieving practices that work for you. And next, you've gotten your affluenza shot. Happy people know that money isn't the influencer of joy. In fact, after a certain point, it may even hurt their well-being. Recent data has suggested that people who pursue material goods as opposed to the pursuit of emotional fulfillment tend to be less satisfied and express fewer positive emotions each day. And if you're constantly adopting a glass half full mentality, when you're happy, you want to do everything in your power to make sure you're capitalizing on those emotions. So when life throws you a lemon, you should throw a party. Adopting a realistic, optimistic attitude has been linked to greater success and overall happiness. And optimists even have healthier hearts and stronger immune systems. Next, you have to have goals. If you're really happy, chances are your feelings have been reinforced by reaching those goals that you have set for yourself. And you're not stopping there. A 2011 study published by the Journal of Consumer Research found that those who set themselves up for higher goals tend to be more satisfied with their lives than those who keep lower expectations. And it makes sense. Having something to work towards and then ultimately achieving it can help boost our feelings of personal worth, and pursuing our passions just plain makes us feel good. And to wrap it all up, here's what we all must remember. Happiness is an emotion that comes from within. It's something we create ourselves, and it's totally up to you how often you feel it. Happiness is a perception. It's all about how you perceive the world. If you are capable of being aware of emotions and choosing the ones you would like to live in, you will be in those emotions more often than not. Keep up your focus on love, gratitude, and happiness, and you will be there more often than you think. And the quote this week, I absolutely love. It is so darn true. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. And that was spoken by Dennis Waitley.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
That's good.
That makes me happy, Dave.
Well, I think you have to focus on whether you want to be happy or whether you want to be sad. you
Oh,
know,
sure.
or, you know, the glass half
Or
full, the
mad or
glass half
whatever, yeah.
empty, right? And,
Yeah.
you know, it's so true. How often do you get pissed off if you spill your coffee or something? You know, it's not important.
Yeah. Yeah, what do they say? It takes, I don't know the numbers, so I'm kind of ad-libbing it here, but like 47 muscles in your face to frown, but only takes 2 to smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. More work to be upset.
Right? Right.
It is a choice. I mean, I'd like that. It's to be happy or whatever, you know, the cup is half full, but it's also refillable. You know, you choose
Right.
the moment, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay,
Right.
I could be upset for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but what do you do with the remaining 23 and a half hours of your day, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Has to be.
It's the same as going down on that low road.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Totally.
It's an easy path to take, but if you focus on the positive side of things, and it's something you have to work on, but then you can be more positive and happier in the end.
it's not natural. I don't think it's natural.
To be happy?
No,
Or-
to be upset.
Oh,
Because it does take more work to be upset all day. Like, how can you keep that grudge for so long and be mad about something? Somebody cut you off or whatever, right? How can you choose to be mad all day, like, because it just happens? It doesn't. You're choosing to be that way, you know? I feel like it's just unnatural for us to. Nobody wants to be upset. People want to be happy. You know, you want to have good moments, good times, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, JR. But I think it's something else in our society. When Dave started off, he said North America was less happy than we were 5 years ago. To me, you learn that response. So that's the mode that you think is natural, even though it's difficult. And you're back to your exhaustingness, is to be unhappy because everybody else around you is possibly unhappy.
Yeah.
So that's your learned response. And that's the way people live. And I think it's hard to do that, and it's exhausting. And to find that happiness, it just is harder and harder to do with some people. You know, it's just a battle.
We can simplify it more, right? Like, who goes to Wendy's and says, today I want to get my order wrong, you know? Like, I want to be pissed off. I hope they get my order.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
How come for 50 years McDonald's hasn't been selling the unhappy meal?
There you go.
Nobody wants the unhappy meal. Everybody wants the happy meal.
Yep.
Right?
All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
Well, I tease these guys that they're really going to like my final thought. And I want you guys, because it's about happiness. It's about yourself. And I want you guys to follow along. And Super Dave, you gave me a compliment. You said my closing arguments are usually pretty good. So
I like them. Yeah.
I want you guys to let this soak in, because it's gonna hit you guys hard. All right. So treat yourself like I-70 and never stop working on yourself, no matter how inconvenient it is for anyone else. That's my final thought.
God, take care of number one.
Funny.
Right?
That's funny.
Well, I like that part about always keep working on yourself, because nobody's perfect and you can always improve.
Exactly. Just like I-70, Dave. They're always working on it.
It ain't perfect, right?
And it needs a lot of work still.
Right.
Yeah.
And
does
it doesn't matter.
I-270.
And it doesn't matter how inconvenient it is for anybody else.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, mine are a little garbled here because I didn't have time to fully prepare for it. So Super Dave and Jim, you can jump in here anywhere and help me tell the story. But I showed him a Simon Sinek video this morning, and he's a motivational speaker. And he had a pretty interesting story about the Undersecretary of Defense. He was giving a presentation, and Simon was at it. And the secretary had just started his presentation, and he takes a sip of his coffee out of a styrofoam cup, and he kind of chuckles a minute, and he interrupts himself giving his speech. And he says, this is my second year here giving this speech. And he said, last year I was the current undersecretary of the state. And he said, this year I'm retired. I'm not, I no longer hold that position. And he said, last year they flew me in first class. A car picked me up at the airport, took me to my hotel. The next morning, a car picked me up at my hotel, and he said, it brought me here backstage. I went in, they asked me if I'd like a cup of coffee, and he was like, oh, yes, please. And they brought him a cup of coffee in a nice ceramic cup, and he gave his presentation. And he said, this year, I'm retired. I had to fly myself. I flew coach. I had to get a taxi from the airport to my hotel. This morning, I got a taxi from my hotel here. I had to come in the front entrance and make my way backstage. I asked if they had any coffee. They pointed me to a machine that I had to go over and put money in. And I got my styrofoam cup full of coffee here. And I'm now giving my presentation. And he said, I guess I want you to understand that a lot of times perks that come with a job aren't for the person, but they're for the position. And I had never looked at that before. And they say, he went on to further a little bit that, some of the perks that come with that are for the position. It could be more money. It could be how people treat you. People may treat you differently. You're pulled different directions that become perks, and they're just things that come with getting that position. And it's kind of tough to understand or really wrap your head around that, when really that is so true. It's not the person, it's the position that gets that. And I don't know, it was kind of a little bit of an aha moment for me. And then he ends it really fast, and you don't know. I would like to see if I could pull up the video and watch more of it. But he says, most importantly, when danger threatens the tribe, you must be willing to give up the perks. And I can take that. I can swing that bat a bunch of different directions, what he means by that. And the video ends right there because it's just a 5-minute clip, the typical Simon Sinek clips. I'm sure I could find it somewhere, but it's interesting how he says that, because I kind of look at that like, geez, I wonder if that position is getting perks that in tough times, maybe if that person or that position didn't get the perks, those perks could be applied in a different way to benefit more people in the company rather than that position. Or, that's immediately where my brain goes, or it could be in another capacity. So anyway, I don't know. I just found that interesting. People getting positions or moving up the chain or anything like that, keep in mind that a lot has to do with that position.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What was that last part that you read about the
tribe?
Yeah, about losing
He just says, most importantly, when danger threatens the tribe, you must be willing to give up the perks.
I like that a lot, because I do imagine JFW and the way we do things is that we can be living in a moment where we're doing all great, right? But when it comes down to another moment where we really need to huddle up and band together and go to war together, I think we do that very well. And we sacrifice things, whether, our most precious thing is time. We sacrifice the time to go and do those things,
right?
To make sure the whole fleet is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching quickly with Dave when he showed it to me, and Super Dave, he made that comment, about the beautiful porcelain cup and the styrofoam cup, is that the porcelain cup wasn't meant for him. It was meant for his position. That's what Dave said. But the styrofoam cup was him, because he got that.
Yes.
And you're just as normal as everybody else. This is what you are, is the styrofoam cup. The beautiful porcelain cup was your position. And that is a great way to look at a lot of those moments, is what are you about? Is it your position or you? And when we need to go to war, when the tribe's in trouble, what choices are you going to make?
Yep,
right.
We need to go to war.
Well, my final thought is about patience, being kind. Kind of got this off a TikTok video, but it goes like this. This morning on my way to work, I followed a car with a sign in the back window that said, "Learning stick. Sorry for any delay." Knowing that, I stayed patient through the slow shifts and jerky starts. And honestly, they were doing pretty well for someone still learning. But then I caught myself wondering, would I have been just as patient if I hadn't seen that sign? Probably not. Because the truth is, most people don't wear signs that explain what they're going through. You won't see going through a divorce, lost a child, feeling depressed, just diagnosed with cancer. Everyone you meet is carrying something you can't see. So let's choose patience, let's choose grace, let's choose love, even when there is no sign telling us to do so.
That's great, JR.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday and I was like, I got to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And JR, I think that's so important, because it brings me to what we talk about here is communication. And I know you're not going to blurt out, hey, I'm not feeling good because I'm going through a divorce. You're not going to do that. I have a little personal story. So the afternoon Dad passed, me and Dave were up in his room, and I've had my phone in my back pocket before and sat on it, never had any problem. But I sat on it and it was on the edge of his dresser, and it creased my phone across the screen, and I couldn't call anybody. I couldn't get to the screen. And fortunately, the only way it worked is when I got in my pickup, I could make calls inside my pickup because it would read it. But anyway, I went to the phone store because I'm like, I have people to call. Dave's like, I'll call this, you call this, let people know. And I went in the phone store, and they were super nice, but they wanted to make all these sales. They wanted to do all this stuff. They wanted to upgrade. They wanted to go over my package. They wanted to do this, wanted to do that. And it was so hard not to, because they didn't deserve this piece of it, to go, listen, my dad just died. I just want an effing phone.
Yeah. They don't know what you're going through.
No, they don't. And I don't have a sign, but should I have just said that? Not the effing phone part, but just go, buddy, I have everything on my shoulders right now. My dad just died. I just want a phone.
Yeah.
I don't want to change the what's the chip in it, the memory card. I don't want to change a memory card. I don't want another cover. I don't want
you don't want the upsells.
I don't want the insurance.
I'm just here for this.
Yeah, this is it, and
make it work.
Yeah, make it work. Turn it on so I can make some phone calls, and that's it. But that is so much of life. And I was just like, I was so tempted just to say that, and then the guy could probably have, I got out of the store and he goes, what if that guy lied to me?
Yeah. Right. But I think you didn't say it because you realize that they're doing a job.
Yeah. They were doing the best.
You have an understanding of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what that message says, is that you have an understanding if somebody has a sticker that they're learning something, maybe even student driver, and you just somehow just have more patience for that person, right? Rather than you having road rage because the guy's not going fast enough for you.
Yeah. It's true, though. Would I have treated that person the same way if I didn't know from the sticker? Yep. That's the greatest question.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I probably wouldn't have.
Right.
No.
I mean, it's in my heart. I know I wouldn't have.
On a good day, yes. On a normal day, probably not.
Yeah, you're right.
That could be an 80% day.
Get out of my way.
Depends on your day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Super Dave, any final thoughts?
No, let's just look inside and try to feel that happy emotion more than the angry one, right? It's kind of on the same thing, right?
Yeah.
With patience.
Same tangent.
Patience and happiness and communication.
Gratitude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Empathy, all of those things.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to Channel 23 Podcast and hit that follow button. With that, guys, we'll end with our creed.
Sounds great.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us. Together we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. And together we are the JFW family.
Woo woo.
Be safe, everybody. Thank you.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, because we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. There's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. big, bright, shiny red trucks are just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a looking for another load. They just keep them doors closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.